First off, hi to the kitty. Kitty. Be a prop for the video. Kitty. Do you want to say something? Say something. She has a lot to say. We love you, kitty. Celeste is one of my favorite games of all freaking time. The gameplay is exciting, challenging the player, but rewarding growth and learning. The music is so beautiful, like, just creates this amazing atmosphere, unlike any other game I've ever played before. The sprites in the background art are all masterfully done. They're like, so much detail packed into these sprites. It's so gorgeous and beautiful. You know, we could go through nitpicking every single element of Celeste, and I'm gonna be telling you right now, they're all good. However, when I'm like really sitting here thinking back, imagining like what makes Celeste so goated, it's the levels themselves, girl. It's the gameplay. There are 7 different main story levels with an extra 8th like epilogue chapter you can get after collecting some optional collectibles called Crystal Hearts. Each of these 8 different chapters have 3 different sides, called sides, or different like levels if that's better for you. There's the A side, B side, and then the C side. The A sides are like the main level, kind of the easiest, definitely the easiest. Still pretty long in length. The B sides are similar length, maybe a little bit shorter, but a lot harder. And then the C sides are the hardest of all the sides, of all the different levels within one chapter. And they are super challenging. But they're usually very short, only 3 screens long. They're not usually very short, they are very short. So in total, that would be 24 levels. We're counting all the chapters without the sides. However, there is a DLC level that was added 1 year after the game came out. So technically 25 main levels when we don't count like the epilogue. There's like a little epilogue that like this is how much time you beat the game in, or like a little intro sequence, which is like story, like exposition, as you can tell, because I love this game. I think every single level is goated. Every single level is good. However, there are definitely a few levels that stand out for better and for worse reasons. Foreshadowing. Spoilers. Clock it. Today, in this video, we're going to be going over every single level of Celeste. And we're going to compare them all to each other to create a definitive and correct ranking of all 25 levels of Celeste. Gag it. Now, I know you're sitting here asking, you're sitting here wondering, what makes my opinion correct? How dare you? You know, what makes this video goated? You know, I could go on about how many hours I've spent sitting here in this exact chair, raging, thinking back to last night, getting all this footage to film this video. I could go over all of that. But I won't. I don't want to waste your time. I won't. Instead, you just gotta believe that my opinion is based on facts, based on the truth. You know what? We're gonna get into it today. We're gonna get into every opinion today. So you'll see the facts and the truth. You know what? If you disagree with the ranking, girl, you're wrong. You're wrong. Incorrect. However, a little disclaimer before we get into the actual meat of the video. All the footage is my own gameplay. Most of it is from 4 a.m. I was very tired when I was recording this. It's not the best. It's not the worst. No, it's pretty bad. And I used a lot of save states. So don't flame me. Please do not flame me. I swear I'm goated. I swear. Any other day I'm the goat. You just caught me at a bad time. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the good and the bad of Celeste. So let's get into it. So just like a little overview of what I find to be good slash bad in a Celeste level, and like kind of how I rank a Celeste level. We got 5 different main categories that I think about, and obviously these can be like combined, and sometimes like one thing will be super one thing and I like it because of that thing, or it'll be that same thing in a different level and I kind of dislike it because of that. We'll get into it. First of all, we have memorability of the level. So like when I'm thinking back to the level, does it stand out? This could be for good or bad reasons, but like if something stands out and I remember like how to solve something when I'm playing it, I'm more likely to kind of be like, oh, this is kind of a good level, because obviously I remember it, right? Next, we have the difficulty of the level. Was the level hard? Was it easy? Does this like difficulty enhance or hinder my experiences? Sometimes that level will be really hard and I'm like, oh god, this is fun, I'm the goat. But sometimes the level is gonna be really hard and I'm like, girl, this level design is not it. Next we have the atmosphere of the level. This atmosphere to me is like music plus story. Honestly, I don't really consider the story that much or the music. I kind of play without music at the time, but it's still an important part, especially for like a first time player. The story is a huge part of why I ended up falling in love with this game, and the music as well. Like I feel like people who don't even like Celeste or have played Celeste are like, oh, I listened to that track, or like, oh, you'll hear it in a YouTube video. Like next we have the level design. This meaning like just the room, the gameplay. Was the mechanic introduced like this chapter or this level, was it good? And does it have like an interesting problem solving moment, or like a fast paced room where you gotta make quick decisions and like really test your skills? If something is like really interesting and I finish a room, I'm like, oh, that puzzle was sick. Even if I'm like bad at it, I'm like, okay, well, I still appreciate the thought that went into that. Next, we have the biggest factor. We have the biggest factor incoming. What is it? Is the level fun? And honestly, like all these things kind of contribute to the level being fun, but sometimes the levels will just be like real bad. Like they'll be garbage. Like super all this whatever, and then it's just fun. Like it's just a fun level. I'm like, ooh, I love playing that level, even if I like don't like certain things. Like inexplicable sometimes. It's like, we'll see. Sometimes the levels are not fun, girl. We have like perfect, whatever. And then I'm playing it and I'm like, why would I die? I hate playing this level. So it really does depend. And that is honestly the most important one to me. And now that we have our basis on which all the levels are going to be ranked, so we went over our 5 little criteria, let's go over the 7 different categories they're going to get rated to on tierlist.com. Thank you tierlist.com. What are they? So we first have goated, pretty self-explanatory, but these are like the best of the best levels. Like I love these levels so much. It's what makes Celeste for me. It makes me want to keep replaying, and those are those girls, you know. Next we have let's all live. It's just like not on that goated status, but like, ooh, I love these levels. Like, they're so cute, they're so fun. Lit, you know, let's all live. We have yay. Levels are, you know, not to the status of goated or like, oh yeah, let's all live. It's like, yay, like these levels are good. I have probably a few frustrating moments, or like moments I'm like, or don't stand out as much, but they're still good levels. Like these are levels where I'm like, ooh, that's a good level for sure. Then we have, I mean, it's alright. These levels, you know, as the name applies, they're alright. Like nothing too where I'm like, oh, I live for this level, where it's like, ooh, this level is not it. But you know, they're alright. They're okay. They're just okay to me. Next we have, oh my god, bro. These levels are just kind of like, it's like they're not it. Like I get to it and I'm like, ooh, girl, I don't want to play that. Like, ooh, I don't live for this aspect. But it gets worse because we have, don't even joke, lad. These levels are just like, oh my god, I really gotta play this level right now. I do not want to play these levels. I do not enjoy playing these levels that much. Like, they're still fine, whatever, right? And they're not the worst. But, you know, they're pretty bad in terms of, like, when I play them, I'm like, usually I'm gonna dread these levels. I'm not gonna want to play these levels. I'm gonna have a hard time getting through these levels for certain reasons. But we have one more tier. What could it be? What could it be? We have Kill Me Now. Now you may be asking, Kill Me Now? I thought you said you loved this game. I thought you said every level was at least pretty good. There's one level. There's one level. Remember the foreshadowing from earlier? It's a little bit of spoilers. It's only one level is gonna go in there. And this special tier was made for it. Because I hate it. Because I hate it so much. Because every time I play it, my head is in my hands. I'm like crying. I hate this level so much. Can you guess it? Can you guess what it is? Can you guess? Probably not, because I don't think that many people hate this level. It's just me. It's just me. I'm the crazy one. No, but for real, this level, girl, it's not it. So we made the special kill. We made the special tier. Kill Me Now. That was a special level. You'll see. We'll get into it. We'll get into it later. What we're gonna start is we're gonna go by chapter to chapter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 9. But we're gonna go through the A side of whatever chapter. So we'll start with chapter 1, go A side, B side, C side before moving on. Chapter number 2. We're gonna go through that, through every single chapter, all the way to chapter 9. We're gonna talk about a brief overview of each side or each level. And then we're gonna go into specific rooms in the level that I think stand out for better, you know, or for worse reasons. Just what makes that level in my head. And then we're gonna rank each side before moving on to the next side, and then the next side, and then eventually the next chapter. So now, with all of that out of the way, let's get into ranking every single level of Celeste and determining the good and the bad of Celeste. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. I got my monster. It's like 2 a.m. I got the big one too. After we get told to get good by Grandma and are nearly killed on the bridge, we are sent off into a journey by ourselves to climb Celeste Mountain. The first stop on our way up the mountain is Forsaken City, an abandoned city with chilly winter vibes filled with adverts and traffic signs galore. This chapter feels like the first breath of a chilly night's air after being stuck inside all day. It's freeing, but also somewhat daunting in its difficulty when first getting into the game. As a first-time player and an unexperienced gamer in 2D platformers when I first played, this level felt like the first leap of faith into a new game that would completely take over my life for the coming days and, you know what, years too. Now as a more experienced player and after playing every level countless times, I have a new perspective on Forsaken City. While it is definitely fun, the simplicity can get a bit boring. The levels are a good introduction, but not the best in terms of several replays. After a while of playing Celeste, I never dread opening up chapter 1 when starting a playthrough. I don't have to put much thought or brain power into it either. It just feels like a warm-up for the real meat of the game. That being said, it's not like there aren't merits to this level, so you know what? Let's get into it. The first level I'm going to talk about is this winged strawberry room. So as you can see, there's these signs kind of indicating that you can't dash. So these little platforms, you go bang, 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 hop up to the side, and this winged strawberry, if you dash, basically it disappears. So, you know, I can't dash here. But if I complete a technique called a wall bounce, I'm able to grab it while dashing and able to grab it before it disappears. So it's really fun because you can go this like the usual route of bang, 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 and do it normally, or you can do this little fun technique, wall bounce, which I introduce later. So it's rewarding for old players and new players at the same time. Next, we have this fun little room with like spring stuff. The real meat of this room is we can go down here, this little secret nook. And who is that? It's Theo. Our first introduction of one of the side characters of this game and kind of the comedic relief later. And I just really like this room in particular because of the fire, the warm vibes, the music switches up right here. It gets all kind of cozy. I think it's like a very cozy vibe and, you know, first introduction of one of the big characters, so it's a notable room for me. We also have this fun little room right here, which, you know, pretty basic looking. And then, what is this? Bang! secret room with a hidden strawberry. I always really like the strawberry because it's so simple and it's obviously one of the first levels of the game, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of obvious later, but at first it was such a fun little secret to find. Like I loved finding the strawberry for the first time. I thought it was so cool. It really rewards exploration. Next we have this room, which I like a lot, which is like a little momentum bang, momentum bang. It's kind of a fun way to introduce the player into momentum, which is like a concept we'll see later in the B-side. But the another fun part is you go bang up into this little spot here. It's this little secret spot, and you end up going over here to get like another strawberry. But I think it's really cool just because of this little sign right here, kind of hinting at it, because you kind of like, it really rewards the player like actually paying attention to the game, which not a lot, I feel like not a lot of games use like these elements of just like what should just be background art to indicate a secret, because I feel like you wouldn't find this other way. I just think that's so cool. Next we have our first crystal heart, which is a little optional collectible, and when I was playing this level through, I solved this with the guide. I did. You'll see me, it takes forever to solve, but let me just complain about this crystal heart. It is so annoying, and I feel like no one would really get it without a guide, and I don't have this little pattern memorized that you need to unlock it that you see me figuring out in real time. It's cool, hypothetically. Like, it's cool as a returning player and, like, hypothetically. But for someone who's trying to get into the game, like a first-time player, I feel like they're never gonna find that. Which, you know, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. So, you know. Then we have our final room here, which is like similar to the before one with the momentum. We go momentum side, momentum up, and then we get to this little platforming section, pretty easy. I just think that was cool. And also, a little note, I love this. I love having this little, this is dedicated to all those perish in the fall, kind of a reference to the trans community. I just think it's, I'm obviously not going to talk about the story of this game a lot, because this is more focused on the gameplay aspects, but I do think this is a nice little detail and kind of sets up the story in a nice way to continue on. And that's chapter 1's A-side. Clap it up. I really like this A-side. I do. It's simple, but it's kind of just good. Like, it's not, I never even dread to play through it. Is it super easy? Yes. Is it memorable though? Like, it's very memorable. And a lot of the art is beautiful. I think the story is very pretty in this level. It's simple. It's simple, but it's good simple. Is it like blowing my mind? No. It's not blowing my mind as a returning player. But it's pretty fun. Taking all that into consideration, I'm gonna find Forsaken City's A-side. You know where I'm gonna put it? I'm gonna put it in the A tier. Because do I think it's on like the Let's All Live status? No. But it's better than alright. It's pretty good. So it's going in. Yay! Yay. And let's get into the B-side. Our first B-side, actually. The music is remixed for every B-side and C-side. So A-side music gets remixed for the B-side, and that remix continues on to our C-side. This B-side in particular, I feel is a pretty big upgrade in terms of difficulty, especially when compared to chapter 1. It takes all the mechanics and ideas introduced in the A-side and turns it up to 11. A lot of new ideas for the usage of mechanics are introduced, helps to keep this level feeling fresh and unique, and not just like a harder copy of the A-side, like a lot of other B-sides can feel like. Moving into this room, I don't know why, this room's like super hard for me, and I'm pretty bad at like these like stamina puzzles. You know, you can't hold on too long or you're gonna fall. I succeed here. But I think it's pretty cool. It's a decent stamina puzzles for all the stamina puzzles there are. You know, it's not precise platforming, which it is kind of precise platforming. It's not these like high speed precise platforming, which I enjoy more, but it's pretty fun, I guess, for a stamina puzzle. Next, we have this spring room, or as in my notes I've named stupid spring room. I don't know, I hate this room. I got it pretty fast here. But when I first did this level, oh my god, this room took so long. I don't know why, it's just kind of weird. Like, it's just kind of weirdly set up, I feel. It's just kind of weirdly set up. Like, it just, I don't know, like you jump on that, and then you hit the wall a lot there. You're supposed to like bounce off the top, bang, and then dash, and then go down quickly without the spring moving too fast. It's a lot of elements for me to keep track of, if I'm honest, and I get just a bit frustrated at that. You know, quite a lot of trial and error when I first started playing. It's alright. I do enjoy this little down arrow here. I think it's obvious you need to go down, but it's kind of a nice... When you're first doing this room, it's like, oh my god, where do I go? Like, it's kind of overwhelming. So I do think the use of this little sign is a nice little touch. Next, we have, guess what? An annoying stamina room. Stamina puzzles. Clap it. You're gonna hear me complain about stamina puzzles a lot because I'm kind of bad at them. This room in particular, especially when I was recording this footage last night, oh my god, did I fail this a lot? You're gonna see me fail a bunch. A little embarrassing. This room, the previous stamina room was kind of cool because it's short. This one's kind of long, so you'll see me die a lot right at the end. I'm really not a fan of her. She's alright. I'm just not like a huge... I'm not jumping for joy at this room. Let's skip to me getting it. Here's me solving it. Bang. Boom. I did it. Then we have this room, which I actually really enjoy. I really like this like precise platforming section. We got some momentum shenanigans, which, I mean, I love flinging across the room. I think it's fun. I think it's also cool because you kind of gotta conserve your dash until the final jump. So you gotta like really think it through. You'll see this footage. I was not thinking it through. I really was not. I was really struggling. I kept wanting to use my dash. I kept dying pretty easily. But eventually I did make it, right? You see, you had to wait till that last one you could dash. Now we move on to the final room. So in B-sides they have these rooms where it's like color blocks. And that's your final room. You see we have these blue blocks, bang, bang, bang. Now, as for B-side rooms go, like final rooms, it's not too memorable. It's alright. It's kind of really simple. Nothing good, nothing bad about it. Pretty basic end to this chapter, which, you know, whatever. Overall, I feel as though Forsaken City A and B side are pretty similar. The B side I do feel is distinct enough where I'm not like, oh, this is this. But like in terms of my enjoyment for them, they are very similar. I do happen to enjoy the B-side just a little bit more, just because I do really like the increased difficulty. That was like my complaint basically with the first one, is the replayability is kind of just because I like my levels to be a little more difficult, you know, require a little bit more that brain power. So for this reason, we're gonna take Forsaken City, also put her in yay, because I'm not like living, but it's still pretty fun. And I'm just gonna put it bang above the A side. Now we are moving on to our first C side, which you're gonna see they're my favorite in terms of A, B, and C sides. C sides make the rooms a lot harder, a lot harder. But the trade-off is, as we discussed earlier, these C sides, every single C side is only 3 rooms long. Typically, the first 2 rooms of the C side are gonna be easier, and the last room is gonna be like that final test. See if you're like really the goat or not. The third room is also going to be like an amalgamation of the elements introduced in the first room and the second room. So it's like first room, and it's like, oh, this hard mechanic. Second room, this hard mechanic. And then third room is like, here are the mechanics combined. So it's kind of fun in that way because it's like every C-side's similar, but pretty good. This C-side in particular is goated. It's really incredible. It incorporates my favorite levels of the A and B sides and merges it into one little package that is very difficult, especially first time playing, but it's so rewarding to master. I'm pretty bad at that first one, as we might have seen. We'll discuss it more, but overall I'm pretty decent at this chapter now, just because I've grinded it over and over and over and over and over again, because I just love this chapter. Again, as I said, I'm not good at it, but I do enjoy this like precise dashing. I'm just really bad at it here. I don't know why, especially last night. No, this wasn't last night, so a while ago. I didn't record this one last night, but I enjoyed this room. I don't think it's bad. It's probably the weakest for me, just because I'm kind of bad at it. But I think it's pretty good. And then we move on to this super easy room. Oh my god, this room is so easy. Like, you'll see here, it's pretty simple, pretty basic, these falling blocks. We get some momentum stuff at the end here. Stamina conservation, but I literally never die here ever. Like, it's a pretty fun room, pretty little rest before we get into the final level, which is so good. I'm gonna let it play, watch a bit, but bang, you go over that little I failed. I'm usually pretty good at this level though, because I did get this one golden. It's easily the best room in this level. It requires some precise movement. There's some momentum shenanigans you see right here. Bang, bang, up to the side. Also some puzzle solving and planning. Like, you're definitely going to need to go into this level with a plan. You're going to get got, especially at parts like right there. But yeah, it's easily my favorite level in this chapter. Let's just get to me beating it. Yeah, we got this little key block. To the side, bang, up, bang, bang. Jump off. Go up, bang, down. So satisfying. It's so fun to get right. It's got this like rhythm to it. I live for this level. For this room in this level. So, what really matters is how I rank it though. As I kind of hinted at, I love this level. I think it's good, mostly for that last room. But that last room kind of carries so hard. It's just got like this awesome rhythm to it. I really love this level. I really love doing the golden strawberry in this level. I find it really enjoyable for replayability, all that. Super fun. So where do I rank it though? That's what's important. Do I put it Let's All Live? Did I put it Goated? Did I put it Yay? Decisions. But I do put it in Let's All Live. I put it in Let's All Live. I don't think it's that Goated sass because, spoilers, there are a lot better levels to me personally. But I do think this level does what it's trying to do amazing. I think it's a good final close on Forsaken City. I really like this level. I think it's just awesome. It's one of the best levels in terms of replayability for me. I just think it's incredible. So I put it in Let's All Live. Old Side is the first chapter where the story starts to pick up for the first time. We get the insecure negative part of ourselves pulled out into another girl who continues to hurt us the rest of the narrative. Her name is Battle Eye. We're introduced to more surreal, dreamlike elements that help to clue us in that everything on the mountain isn't as it seems. Oh my god. We are taken from our once positive mind and hopeful start into a reminder of why we started to climb the mountain in the first time. To escape ourselves. Super deep. Oh my god. But yeah, this chapter is like the first look into some of the deeper themes that get explored in the later chapters, like Mirror Temple or Reflection. And instead of going upwards like the last chapter, we're instead traveling downwards into a cave for the first portion of this chapter to mirror these like darker themes. It is not very distinct from Forsaken City, like they're kind of similar vibes, which I think is one of its biggest downfalls. On top of that, the music isn't as good, but the gameplay and mechanics definitely are pretty good. Side A introduces a lot of new mechanics that are later expanded upon to be a lot more interesting in sides B and C. While I find Side A to be the weakest in terms of gameplay out of all the sides in Chapter 2, it definitely is not bad per se. There are a lot of frustrating moments, especially for a first-time player, especially during the chase sequence, what we'll get into, but also for a returning player, it can be frustrating sometimes too. Let's get into some of the rooms. So we start off with this heart room, which I think is one of the coolest crystal hearts. But definitely not, you're not gonna find this on your own. So basically, it's like you would think this is not an intended mechanic, but once you leave a screen, your dash refreshes, and they use it in this really cool way where, oh, look at those neutral jumps, I'm so bad at neutral jumping. That's like my one thing I'm bad at. One of the things I'm bad at in this game. I almost made it. Oh well. But it's really cool that, you know, they applied something that didn't feel super intentional here into a solution for the heart. And there it is. Bang. It also rewards exploration. And it's like checking like, oh, what happens if I go up here or whatever. Do I think a regular player is going to find it in the first playthrough? Definitely not, but still pretty cool. So we get into this wide room, which is like kind of our central hub for a lot of this level. It's the first time we really get these kind of wide rooms that are present a bit later in the game. And with the dream blocks, it's super fun because you can kind of bounce around the room. And you see there's a lot of like pathways you can go to. For a first time player, it's like, oh my god, where am I going? It like kind of shows the player, hey, if you explore, you're going to find these cool collectibles and strawberries. You don't need to, but it's a thing you could do. It also shows you our B-side room. It's in a pretty obvious spot, which is good because Chapter 1's B-side was not, and B-side unlockable room was not in such an obvious spot. So I think having it here kind of shows you, oh, that's a possibility, like that's a thing that exists in this game, which I think is pretty cool. Another cool room is this room, which you're supposed to go up here in this corner and fall down from the top room. It's supposed to be an impossible jump, but with a little wave dash, you can get up to it. So I think it's cool for returning players to kind of be like, oh, let me do this new skill that I know, this hard skill that I know. Next, we get into our first like blue key room, which is like canonically A-side wise. I think it's pretty cool, a simple introduction to it before we get into this more complicated blue key room with, you know, a bunch of different ways you can go, more stressful, so it's kind of a nice way to introduce it and then expand upon it. Next, we're gonna show the debug menu from it, this big old room. As a first time player, this room sucked so bad, and you'll see there's like fun little exploration moments, but Jesus, this room is hard as a first time player. It's super long, as we saw. And obviously, the many battle lines following you, it's very stressful. Again, I play this level a lot, so it's kind of like fun for me now because I have my little path down. I enjoy doing that room kind of a lot now. But at first, I hated doing that room. I hated it. It was very hard. Again, not really touching on the story that much. I do think this cutscene is pretty cool though. We're obviously in a dream, and as I skip through all this probably important dialogue, we see our battle line again. You know, she's terrorizing us. But I just love this little monster. I love this little monster so much. He makes me so happy. I love this little monster. After all that, you know, we're kind of stressed out because we just went through that whole chase sequence. Saw that monster. Guess who shows up? Good old pal Theo. Theo's back. And this is like the first time you kind of see Theo for sure. Because in the first chapter you can kind of miss him. But here's when you see him for sure. I think it's a nice way to like formally introduce him. We met him before, but you meet him for sure as he's now. So, hey Theo. And then again, not really touching on the story too much, but I love this kind of cutscene because it's like a foil, not really a foil. It's like you get the same cutscenes before, but it's set to mom now, so it kind of feels more real, more grounding. No monster shows up. Nice way to end this chapter. This level. Excuse me. Now that we went through the A side, where are we going to rank it? Where are we gonna rank it? Overall, it's an okay A side. I think it does better in the B and the C side. Spoilers, but for an A side, it's pretty basic, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, nothing's like super special about it for me. I don't like live playing for it. I would always rather play the first chapter. Like, they're similar to me in my head when I'm thinking about, just because their lengths are pretty short when I'm doing a playthrough. I'm like, okay, A side, B side, or not A side, B side. Chapter 1's A side, chapter 2 A side. It kind of gets smushed because of a level coming up, but they kind of get smushed together, and for that reason, it just doesn't stand out as much. I don't know. I just, it's alright. It's alright. Nothing good. Nothing too bad about it. It's alright. Not exceptional. Not awful. I'm gonna put it. It's alright. Well, I had my grievances with the A side of Old Site, mainly that, you know, it was boring. Side B mostly fixes them. It's a lot quicker paced right away at the beginning, as we're introduced to a new way to use the dream blocks that gives us more momentum. It just feels like everything I could have wanted from Side A is given to me in Side B, you know? So I couldn't like imagining wanting to play Side A over Side B, if that makes sense. Like, it just kind of is better in almost every way. There still are a few problems. The final room. You know, but we're gonna get into that. So, almost immediately as we get in, we get this little bird telling us about this jump we can do out of these dream blocks, which, I don't know, I think is pretty cool. It kind of speeds up the pace, as we discussed earlier. And one thing is really cool, these lanterns that shake once you bounce past them. I think that's such a nice detail. I love that detail so much. Another notable room is this like puzzle summon queue room. I'm not a huge fan of puzzle rooms in general, and this one's really no different. It's not that fun, but I still think it's pretty cool. Just kind of a fun solution, I guess. And especially battle line chasing you, it like offers a different kind of perspective. It's alright. It's okay. This room is one of my favorite moments in this entire level and one of the entire game. Oh my god, I already passed it. But it's basically like this whole time we've taught this new mechanic that like helps speed up the pace, jumping out of dream blocks. So we're kind of used to that at this point, like just automatically doing it. And instead, to dash down right out of this dream block instead of bouncing. So we bounced, we hit these spikes and we immediately die. So it's kind of this cool subversion of expectations that I think kind of breaks up like the monotony of this level that could have been more monotonous. Makes it really interesting. This is literally one of my favorite moments. Even when I first played it, I was like, oh, that's sick. Because it's kind of just, it really subverts your expectations. Like, you go bang, 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 and then you go immediately down. Because we're used to conserving our dash too outside of dream blocks, so to have to dash immediately, I just think that's so cool. Up here, pretty normal end to it, but I think that beginning is just so cool. And then we have this room, which is kind of very quintessential this chapter to me. These like long upward dream blocks where you're dashing through, grabbing keys, dashing back onto keys, that kind of stuff. It's very quintessential this chapter to me. It's pretty fun puzzle solving stuff again. Go up and then over, and then we're like, oh, we're down to level. And then hell begins. I actually got this first try when I played it last night. I was so happy, but once I've spent like 10 minutes here trying to get this, just because this timing is so finicky. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm like just like overdoing it in my head or something, but it's just so weird. Like it's so annoying because these blocks turn off, and then I'm like, where do I go? Where do I go? I just fall. Oh, and I die. But you don't die. You don't die. You just keep trying. It's so frustrating. But anyway, it's kind of like I don't want to say a bad end to this chapter, because it's not necessarily bad, but it kind of puts a sour note on otherwise a really beautiful B-side. Like one of my favorite B-sides, it puts kind of a into it. As a hint to that, it's like one of my more liked B-sides. So where are we gonna put it? It is one of my more favorite B-sides, but at the same time, that last room genuinely, like I really like replaying this level. I used to love replaying this level actually, until I don't know, I got really bad at that last room. And I realized like I don't want to play this level anymore. So it kind of like put a sour note on otherwise a really good level per se. For that reason, I do like it more than the first old site. But to me, it's kind of just still, it's alright. I mean, it's alright. You know, like if that last room wasn't in it, genuinely, I think this level would probably be here even. I would argue probably there. But girl, we're putting it there. So if side B was an improvement, the old side C is like they perfected that thing. They perfected it. It takes the good part of side B that I really enjoyed. It makes it just a lot more concise and the perfect amount of difficulty. The difficulty here is so good. It feels genuinely so fun to replay. This is like one of my most replayed levels alongside some upcoming ones and the seaside of chapter 1. It's so fun to replay and master. You just feel yourself like perfecting what once kind of seemed impossible. And throughout this video, you're gonna see that I tend to prefer the seasides because of their short and difficult nature. But this one just stands above even the rest of the seasides. Like this level is just genuinely so good. Let's get into it. This first room, one of the most simple rooms in the entire game. You literally you see me die there. You dash through this, hold on to the wall, bang, and then you go through. But I'm gonna be honest. You're like, what do you have to say about this room? This room's stupid looking. Hold on. First of all, nice little introduction. Like eases you in a bit because the last room gets pretty hard. But also, it teaches you something that wasn't really required ever, and the fact that you can, after you dash through a dream block, you can hold on at the end and not, fall off. So even if you dash up there, you would still, I'm pretty sure you would die. You might be able to dash diagonally up out of it. You might hit the dream block. So it kind of forces you to learn this mechanic that becomes relevant later on. So I think it's a really interesting way to be like, hey, this is a thing that can happen, by the way. And then after that, room 2. The puzzle solving key room also is not my favorite room. It's decent though. When I see other people play this room, they always take different routes, which I think is kind of cool because I'm like, I am very like, oh, this is the route I take all the time. Every single time. It's very memorable because I always remember that route. The dash conservation stuff can get a bit annoying, and honestly, battle line is chasing you, so it's kind of like, it's a little annoying. Time crunch. But I do think it's a pretty good room. It's also a nice way to have battle line in this chapter because she's not in the final room, so it's a nice little addition to her. And then we get into like the magnum opus, one of my favorite Celeste levels. Celeste rooms. It builds upon the previously taught mechanics and just expands. Well, let's just watch. You hold on there. Remembered from room 1, we had to hold on. We held on there. Bang, we go through this block. Up, right, up, right, jump. But hey, let's skip to where let's skip to where I get it. It's just really cool. It's this rhythm. It's like bang, 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 bang. So rhythmic. So fun to master, so good. these quick, precise jumps, and then having to switch between jumping outside the dream block versus when to hold, and these spikes make each jump tight, especially in the section where it's like, oh, scary there. Here, at this very end part, be so careful to go low enough on these blocks, or else you're gonna the spikes on top and die, and then you gotta go quick enough there, and you gotta make sure to dash immediately outside of this. It's just really sick. So rhythmic, so fast-paced, so fun, challenging at first, so fun to master. I love this room so much. As you might have guessed, I'm gonna rate this one pretty high. There are, spoilers again, better levels to me. This one is one of the best. In terms of replayability, so good. Fun, so good. Difficulty, just the right amount. Other things, also good. Old Site is the goated status. It's goated status for me. Pretty easily. Goated status. I really like this level. I just think it does everything really good. Love it. Nothing else needed to say. Now let's move on to one of my most hated chapters overall, Celestial Resort. They really amp up the difficulty here to the point where I think this level is like the first time you really face any true difficulty well in a first playthrough. The jumps get tighter, the puzzles get harder, and oh my god, there are so many death bunnies literally everywhere trying to kill you. One thing this chapter does have going for it is definitely the vibe. Mr. Oshiro, who we'll meet later, his anxiety really transfers through the cramped vibes and the mess everywhere. The music is just the right amount of creepy. The music is a banger, by the way, while still keeping it whimsical and light. It's a very fitting level for this old ghost man clinging onto the past. Despite the nice world building and storytelling, you know? God, I hate this chapter. I hate this chapter. I hate this chapter. I'm gonna be honest, it's mostly like the moving death bunnies. Just my worst enemy. Oh my god, I hate them. The vibes when I get to this chapter in a playthrough, so rancid. Like, genuinely, it's horrible. I honestly just feel like I gotta power through when I get to this level. I never choose to play this level willingly. It's literally just sheer willpower to get through this level. The difficulty is suddenly getting really challenging at some point while being more easy at others is really frustrating because, you know, I like to get into that rhythm of like, oh, this is the type of level I'm doing, it's hard or easy or whatever, but it kind of just like, it's really challenging in some parts and some parts it's not. But you know, let's move on to discussing it in further detail. You kind of just saw me complete it, but I just think this point is interesting where you kind of can't dash, you have to wait to dash this whole time, and then boom, dash right at the end. And we get into this fun little room here, you know, this little dash puzzle, nothing too interesting. I do think that first room that where you have to hold your dash for the strawberry at the end, it's pretty cool, rewards creativity. And then backtracking a little bit, this key room I think is really cool. There's two solutions here. There's the regular solution, you know, everyone's gonna do this one, especially in the first playthrough, where you just kind of go up on this block and then you dash over, grab the key. But if you're fancy and remember that crystal heart from chapter 2, you can use your technique. Bang, 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 bang. Get it there. Fun little way to reward creativity and also reward returning players who are replaying things a lot. A room I like a lot is the strawberry room. It's kind of fun. Little puzzle solving moment where you have to know when to touch these and when not to, where to go, and then you gotta make it back to standing. You could die, maybe reset it because you already have the strawberry, but it's kind of a fun little challenge to try to survive that. Probably the most notable room of this chapter is this big mess room. The story really comes across here, you know, Oshiro is anxious, can't clean, you know, everything is kind of piling up on him, and it kind of culminates into this big room, like our little central hub for the majority of the level. So it's a nice little piece of world building. Another interesting room is the Crystal Heart room, which again, no one's gonna find this in the first playthrough without a guide. But after we start clearing up the mess, we literally jump into a waterfall and then backtrack through this entire section that we had to go through first in order to clear the mess. And it's a pretty cool little level moment, but again, no one's gonna find this in the first playthrough unless you have the guide up, which is, I don't know, I find it a little annoying. It's cool like secrets like this exist, but like I don't know how that you even hinted at it, but I just don't think anyone would find that. I mean, prove me wrong, but I really don't think anyone would find that without a guide. We need to go up here, bang, Crystal Heart, we got it. Get this room, which was so horrible to play when I first got into this game, just because of the spacing. You can only really stand on the edges of these blocks. It's like really tight spacing. You jump here, 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 and then you gotta make it back somehow in order to collect the strawberry. It's a nice blend of puzzles and like mechanics, but it's just again frustrating because that tight window. And then we have the final room before Mr. Oshiro kind of turns evil and starts chasing us. This level was so hard in the first playthrough, but it just kind of makes sure the player is ready for the Mr. Oshiro section. It's kind of like a final test. You go bang, 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 and then you're ready. You're ready to take it on. We're just gonna let this play. I hate the Mr. Oshiro chasing section. I hate things coming. I don't like padding all the way to the side of my screen. Something's hot. I just don't like that. I like to focus on what I'm doing. It makes me so stressed out. And he's huge. He's huge. He's coming. The big man's coming at me. And I'm like, dang, get back. And if I'm honest, the whole section kind of feels too long. Like it's literally like the last. It just feels like it kind of carries on past its needed time. It's honestly, the whole level was very frustrating to me because it's kind of annoying, bad vibes. But this level specifically, or this end of the level specifically, is kind of like a bad note on a bad level to me. Where do we rank it? Interesting question. Interesting question. I know you're all wondering. Where are we ranking it. There are worse levels. I complained a lot. It's the thing is, it just is like, it's because it has its good moments as we discussed. But I don't know. The bad does outweigh the good, in my opinion. So, and just vibes from the first playthrough can I still stick in my head where I hated this level. So I'm gonna put it, oh my god, bruh, because to be honest, that's kind of the vibe. When I get to this level, I'm like, oh my god, bruh, I gotta play this level again. So it's kind of like, it's fitting. We're putting it there. Okay, I know I said I hate all the levels this chapter, but the B-side is really not that bad. It's kind of good, actually. First of all, the song is a banger. This song is so good. It makes the level actually 10 times better. Like, genuinely, I'm listening to the song, playing the level, I'm like, okay, wait, hold on. Instead of the fluctuating difficulty of the first, the A-side, the B-side feels a lot more consistent, which helps me kind of get immersed into that rhythm. And it just feels a bit easier because of that. It's got a lot of standout rooms, too, that make me excited when I reach them, because I'm like, oh, girl, I know that room. That being said, it does have a few stinkers in there, little stinker rooms. There's a balance. We'll get into it. We got this room, which is, you know, I've heard bad things about this room, but I personally love this room. I think it's so fun. It's so precise. You have to be really careful about where you stand, but also when to dash, because these dust bunnies are coming at you trying to kill you. So it's kind of like a mix. When do I jump off, but also I gotta dash now, and it's, I don't know, I find it fun. I think it's good. You get into that rhythm again, tight timing, but you get it down to rhythm, and it's really rewarding once you get it down. Then we got this room, which is like a similar concept where it's like timings of when to dash and when to go, but I just hate this room. I don't know why. It's something about the climbing aspect. I just don't like it. I got it pretty easy here, but oh my god, I don't like that room that much. Then we have this room, which I think is kind of fun. You gotta kind of weave between these little guys, the dust bunnies. It's simple, and if it was longer, it'd be more frustrating, but because of its shortness, I think it's kind of fun. And then guess what? We're back to Mr. Oshiro chasing. You know, Mr. Oshiro is back. He's back. It's a bit better here just because it's a bit shorter than the first section, which I thought was too long. And I think the rooms are a bit more interesting because of their difficulty. But that being said, I still like it. It's like this guy's coming at me on my screen. I don't know. It's just frustrating. Another room is this key room here, which I think is kind of fun, managing stamina, and also you can't climb the same spot twice. It's interesting. Mr. Oshiro's caught me, so I'm kind of upset, but it's not. It's interesting. We have our final room here, which is this little puzzle room, which I actually find quite enjoyable. It's not too hard, so it's kind of a nice end to maybe a tougher section with the Oshiro bit. So it kind of leaves me on a positive note, where I'm like, okay, you know what? We did go through it with Mr. Oshiro, but you know, we persevered. We have this cute little fun puzzle to wrap it up. So go bang, dash through, heart, and we're done with this level. Good karma. Yeah, good karma. Karma is a boyfriend. Karma is a god. As I implied, I don't really live for this chapter in its entirety, but this is definitely a standout out of all the A, B, and C sides. So where are we ranking it? I'm putting it right here. I like it more than Forsaken City. Mostly, I'm gonna be honest, it's mostly because of the music. The music is just very nice. But it does got some nice rooms in there too. So I think it's more memorable than those two, and the difficulty makes it fun to replayability. So I put it above those two. In the yay category, despite our short-lived happiness with the B-side, we are back in the trenches because oh my god, the C-side sucks so bad. The music is a banger, of course, same track as the B-side. So at least it has that going for it, but like they took the chasing with Mr. Oshiro and just 10 times worse, so much worse. Just rancid vibes, dreadful vibes when I get to this level and play through. I kind of sped through it, but the first room, it's pretty chill. It's kind of interesting timing. It's a bit uninspired, if you will, but it's decent. It's not that bad of a room. And then we get onto this more timing-based room where you have to fall down on these guys and avoid those and do a little... One of the first of many required wall bounces on seasides. They end up being required in like almost all the seasides, I feel like, in the later ones, but this is like our first taste of the wall bounce being required. You go bang, wall bounce. Fun, not too bad of a room. Probably my favorite in this chapter. Now, Mr. Oshiro is back. This beginning section, which you're gonna see me die. Let's just get to the W section. Beginning section, you see tight timings. It just isn't not very fun. Oshiro's here. I'm stressed out. I don't want to be thinking about timing and climbing and all of that. This room is so long too. Like, and then we have this final jump, which is like literally the bane of my existence. You gotta hit this, jump on his head, jump off, dodge him. Wait, grab the dash crystal, hit the heart. Like, you're expecting me to do all of that after I just went through all this BS earlier? Like no thank you, no thank you, no thank you, no. As I may have hinted at, you know, I don't live for this level. Don't really love it. Every time I play it, it's bad. As we discussed, I just don't like it, okay? I don't like it. Difficulty, too hard. It's too hard. It's too hard. Difficulty is too hard. I'm such a baby. It's too hard. It's too hard. The difficulty is too hard. I hate Mr. Hoshiro. Get him out of here. Get the old man out of here. The music is good. The music is great, actually. Which is why it's not the worst. The first two rooms are okay. That last room really just drags it completely down for me. She's going into don't even joke with that, because this level's not a joking it's not a joking matter. It's serious. Like, just don't even joke. Like, I just Golden Ridge is a bit of a weird chapter for me to rank. I'm aware that this chapter is pretty universally hated in the community due to the introduction of the wind mechanic. And while I agree that the wind mechanic is annoying in a lot of areas, I do think some of the puzzles it introduces are pretty cool. Not only do I think the wind adds like that freedom, wild, wilderness vibe, it also just makes the game look pretty. Like, it's kind of, despite me not hating the wind as much as other people, I do tend to find this chapter pretty mid and forgettable. Like, the background art is beautiful and the section feels unique from the rest of the game, but it doesn't do anything insanely interesting. It does feel necessary though, just to, like, break up the confining vibe, Celeste Resort, and then like the incoming mirror temple. It's like a beautiful chapter for sure, but almost like a facade, because there's not really any deep underlying themes here, at least until like the very end. But and this A-side is like way easier than Celeste Resort, which is before it, which kind of makes it a bit boring in my mind. That being said, there are a lot of cool moments in this chapter though, so let's get into it. We first start off with this cloud room, which is like not very notable, but then bang, there's a secret to the left. What is it? It's this little like golden, I don't know, are they seeds? I don't know what they are. But basically you have to collect all of them. We saw it earlier too, but I think it makes it a lot interesting here. That wind, you're trying to work against it in some areas, with it in others. I think it's a really cool puzzle. It's really interesting, fun to solve, fun to complete, fun to do. Love this puzzle. Then we have this nether wind room, which I think is pretty notable and cool, where you kind of gotta wait for the wind to go and then go immediately before it comes back so you can get back in time. It's a nice use of the wind again, which might be frustrating in some areas, but it's pretty cool here. And then again, you have to work with the wind here, because if you don't work with the wind, you run out of stamina. So pretty cool use of the wind there. This, again, one of our kind of central hub rooms that we kind of keep coming up a lot. This one it's an okay use of it. I think that it's been done better in the game, but I do really like just kind of the different areas you get to explore, or you can go immediately to the end if that's what you prefer. And then we get to our crystal heart room, which is, I think it's like a Mario reference. I don't really know. And I've heard people complain about this, that you'll never find it, and you know, I agree that you wouldn't find this with a guide, but I think it's so cool. You're like jumping in the background. It's so unique and cool, in my opinion. Is it cool you find it without a guide? No. But it's cool. And then we have this room, which I think at first glance looks really complicated, and I was pretty bad at it when I first started playing the game. I think it's a cool use of like the cloud into the moving block into the bubble. It's cool in the wind. It's like a nice combination of every single mechanic introduced in this chapter and then this A-side into like one room. It's a pretty cool puzzle. Very notable. It's notable. And then guess what? Guess what we're introduced to? Snowballs! It's a Mr. Oshiro type of mechanic where it just kind of comes at you from the side of the screen where you gotta pay attention to multiple things at once. It's a bit better than Mr. Oshiro in my opinion, just because it's coming at you from the right, so you can look at it, first of all. Second of all, it's smaller, so it's kind of easier to outmaneuver. And I think they're slower too, so it's kind of a bit better than Mr. Oshiro, but definitely still that Mr. Oshiro type of annoying and frustrating for me. So I don't really like them, can you tell? And then we get to probably my favorite room in the chapter is the final room. This floor went so satisfying. It's so good. And it's such a fun end to this level, which kind of can be seen as frustrating. We just go bang, 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 bang. Jump, 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 jump. It's so satisfying, so fun. Love that room. So, as I stated, I do kind of find this level pretty mid. It's kind of just forgettable in a sense. It's not anything super special thematically. It's kind of fun. At the end, it was really fun. The mechanics introduced are pretty cool. Some are frustrating, some aren't. So for that reason, we kind of know where it's going. It's going. It's alright, because it really just is alright. Like, there's nothing else to say. Let's move on to the B-side, which is one of the most unmemorable levels in the game. IMO, in my opinion. This feels like a continuation of the A-side, which I originally didn't like. Like, it's kind of mid. So, you know, that, but also more boring somehow. Doesn't really introduce any new concepts that I felt were unsatisfied or left out of the A-side. And it just kind of feels like a slightly harder version of the A-side rather than its own standalone level. Since the A-side was so easy, I almost feel as this could have just been the A-side. Like, I don't know. Let's examine in more detail though. Let's examine. We already passed by it, but let's go back to this moving platform room. It just feels so uninspired, like level design wise. Here are spikes, and here's another platform. Like, I don't. It's just some of the timings are a little annoying, but that's about it. It's kind of boring. It's just boring. Then we have this moving platform room, which I just don't like. The timings are really not the time. It's I want to just go. Like, I don't want to rely on this block to carry me everywhere, and having to like push it down minuscule amounts and then move it back up minuscule amounts to fit in this little like gap. This is not very. It's not very like inspired level design to me. It's okay. It's alright. I have this one titled in my notes as The Annoying Stamina Room, which, you know, it lives up to. It's just one of the most, and I hate stamina puzzles, we know that. But like, oh my god, it's so frustrating. It's like, when do I jump? When do I dash? I never know. I always takes me like 10 tries just to figure it out because I'm like, I literally just don't remember because I don't like this room. It's very unintuitive. Like, it's like, I always want to jump. No, but there's a spike there. There's a spike there. Like, I feel like it just doesn't feel good rhythmically. It doesn't feel very, like, it flows great. For me personally, yeah, this room here, which it introduces a new kind of interesting idea for the first time, in my opinion, which is like the wind going on and off. It's interesting in the way that it's like, oh, that's hypothetically cool. In practice, it's kind of like, just want to go. And instead I gotta wait for this wind to turn back on, like, oh my god. Let me get to this room with the pink clouds, which I think it's another interesting mechanic where you gotta jump quickly sometimes, hold it sometimes, kind of maneuver through the air. I do really like this mechanic. It's used a little bit later in the game too, and I think it's used pretty decently every single time. But here's like, I think it's the first time it was introduced. Kind of switches up the pace. It kind of makes you like think differently about clouds because from this point we were just kind of doing full bounces, so it switches it up a little bit, which I think is cool. Now we have this puzzle key room. I don't know why, I love this room. It's probably the best room in this whole to me, just because it's like, the dash patterns are so different from anything else in this game. It's really interesting, it's really fascinating. And intuitive, but like in kind of a fun way. I don't know. And then we get to our final room, which is like the B-side ending kind of room. For some reason, this room is so unmemorable to me. Like, even looking back, I played this last night. I'm looking at it now, I'm like, I don't even remember this room. I don't know, it's kind of boring. There's nothing really interesting there. Besides this last jump, which is kind of fun. Where you wait and then you go bang. But that's it. Like, it's kind of a mid-end to a mid-chapter, if you know what I mean. Fitting in that sense, I guess. So, as I kind of implied, this chapter is literally just the A-side, but a little bit more boring. And the A-side was already boring. Kind of fittingly, we are putting Miss Golden Ridge in the oh my god bruh category. I do think it is worse than the Celestial Resort A-side, just because of how, like, there's potential there, but it's so insanely mid. Every chance it gets, it's so insanely mid. So at least Celestial Resort is like bad. Like it's like bad and annoying. But it knows it's bad and annoying. And it's consistently bad and annoying. The Golden Ridge is just kinda, it's like, it could be good. It's just, it's so mid, it's so mid. That's why it's going in the oh my god bro category. Cause like, it's just, oh my god bro. Monster break. This seaside carries on the Golden Ridge classic of just being kind of boring and mid. It's not necessarily bad per se, it's just so mid. Like, none of the rooms feel unique or kind of like seaside. Like, seaside levels usually feel pretty like, oh, that's a seaside, that's classic, memorable. But even the final room feels like it could have just been a B-side room, in my opinion. You know, I tend to like the seasides the most always, but honestly, I really don't find myself replaying this level like ever. It's to the point where when I play this level, I kind of gotta take a minute to remember the solutions of it. Or like, the path I'm supposed to take. Let's get into it though. Let's get into it. This first room, again, the seaside classic, wall bounces. Honestly, I really do like this. I just don't love bubbles. This room is fun. We're going out of the bubbles. That's kind of fun. That's about where the fun ends for this level, because guess what? We have a stamina room incoming. Oh, this room, I kind of always forget how to do this room. It's not the worst. I think there were literally harder stamina puzzles in the B-side. That being said, it's just not very fun. Just kind of jumping back and forth and then hoping, praying you don't run out of stamina. The real boring part comes with this final room. Final rooms are like supposed to be goated. This final room is just so mid. It's so mid. And the wind is just, I found like I really feel the wind annoyance kind of here. At the level you're working against it, trying to fight back, trying to jump on these clouds while wind is blowing in your face, trying to push you off. I'm like, oh my god, stop. And then it like stops and then it pushes you like the other way sometimes. It's so frustrating. But it's also mid. It's not like super hard either. It's just like, out of all, like this first section really is a stinker. Oh, this bubble section is decently fun just because fun dash pattern. The part where they have to these falling blocks. Sometimes you can kind of go like this. I swear to God, sometimes it's the same thing. I don't know why. It makes me so, hello? It makes me so upset. It's kind of a bad end to a bad level again. I did just kind of say everything bad things about this level, but it is, to be honest, a seaside. And I do like seasides more than other levels just because it's shorter. It's like, it's boring and mid, but at least it's short and it gets to its point and then it's over. Like, compared to the other levels, it's in Golden Ridge, it's alright, okay? It's alright. As I just said, it's alright. But honestly, I'm putting it above. I'm putting it Sumi. I'm putting it above Golden Ridge. It's A-side just because it's, at least it's short. At least it's short. Boring, but it's short. It's alright. I mean, it's alright. Both thematically and gameplay-wise, Mirror Temple is by far my most favorite chapter overall. Every single side. There's unique concepts to keep the chapter fresh, while still tying into the creepy and like mysterious vibes presented. In particular, the music and art really stand out in this chapter. The inclusion of things like the reverse whispering and like the music, the huge eyeballs, like the monsters everywhere. Everything just in this chapter makes it feel like so much darker than the others thematically. And this really ties back into the story of the time, which deals with both Madeline and Theo confronting their biggest insecurities and fears. Madeline is so angry at herself that she like manifests monsters that are trying to kill her, and Theo is like obsessed with how others perceive him, that he gets like trapped inside a crystal with eyeballs looking at him. It's so cool. It's thematically beautiful. And level design wise as well, the A side is so distinct to other chapters, utilizing these more wide open spaces rather than like more linear progression. And the mechanics introduced in this chapter are also some of my favorites for like fast paced like gameplay and like rhythmic gameplay. It's just very fun. Let's get into it. We are first put into this big wide room where we can go literally everywhere to get strawberries or, you know, progression, all of that. It just feels fun to traverse because of the red bubbles, because you can literally just like fly across the room in a second. What could really feel like a kind of boring level that like takes so much time to walk across screen or whatever, it feels so much more fun because these red bubbles just like take you somewhere in an instant. I love that. A room that really feels like a Mirror Temple classic is this room. You know, you find this little hidden room, you hit a switch, go back in the bubble, and then it like opens up a random door somewhere to the right of like a hidden door. Like it's just so, it's so out of the way and stupid, but also like so sick. And you get in this bubble, and I did fail that there, but I'll talk about that. And you know, we continue on with like that open air, open room theme into another open room, but in this time it's in the darkness. So it's a bit frustrating to traverse sometimes, but like it's that same vibe. Like it can feel so samey, but it kind of switches up in a slight way and makes that like dark, creepy vibe so much more apparent and present as you progress through the level. So it keeps things, number one, fresh and interesting, and number two, tying back into the theme. Another like Mirror Temple classic, like secret little hidden compartment is this little section here where you go up through here and you get to skip a key. That's that little door down there, which means later on unlock this little room down here, which lets you, guess what, get this crystal heart. I think that's really cool. I think it's like such a Mirror Temple classic to have a secret room and then you save a key and then you get a crystal heart. I don't know, it feels very cool to me. Again, probably hard for a first time player to find, but it's kind of cool enough that we're gonna let it slide this time. Here we're introduced to the monster for the first time. I really like how it kind of starts off with this easier introduction and then immediately kind of like gets a little bit harder. I don't know, kind of easing you into a new mechanic and then like showing it in a different manner. I think that's really interesting. I also really like that, as you can see here, the way that the monsters interact with objects, like they can break these blocks here, they break blocks here, but they can also like grab keys if they hit them. You don't see it there, but they can like interact with the keys too. I think it's really cool how that was like thought of well in development. It's a good room that shows the interaction with the monsters with different objects. To bounce on top of this monster's head to grab a key, and you get him in this little area, make him grab another key, because you would have died if you try to go in there. It's such a nice use of like different mechanics interacting with each other. Now I'd be in the section where we gotta carry Theo to the end because he's stuck in a crystal. I really love this section. It's so sick. And the way Theo interacts with these monsters and the way like you interact with him as well, like the way you can kind of like dash up into him, I think it's pretty sick. I think it's just kind of, it could have been annoying, but the puzzles in this section are so goated that it doesn't seem annoying or frustrating to have to carry like basically like a lump around. In particular, I really like this room because we get to see how Theo interacts with like the dash like platforms, and you have to like solve when you have to dash. So he goes across too, like you dash up there. Doing two things at once. I think that's a really creative puzzle. And then we get into this final room of this whole section, and it's like it's like the longest room in this entire section. And I feel like again like a test of like, do you really know how to do this? You go up there, get him up, and we get this little creepy section at the end, tying it back in thematically. This highball, and it's trying to push you back, and you have to hit him into it, and then he goes, pow, explodes out. Thematically, really cool. Story-wise, really cool. Vibe-wise, awesome. The vibes are great. As I implied, I really do. I love this chapter. This level is pretty good. Definitely not like the best in this chapter yet, but the vibes are good. I do think it's a little long, and it's hard to find everything in this level just because of how big each like section is. So for that, I'm gonna put it in yay. It's going into yay. It's going pretty far into yay, behind Celestial Resort, because I like Celestial Resort music so much. The B-side. But above these two, because I think it's very good still. I think it's a very good level. A common problem we have discussed with the B-side so far is how they feel too similar with their A-side counterparts. However, Chapter 5's B-side is anything but indistinct. It is so unique with new ideas presented for the mechanics in almost every section. In particular, the use of red bubbles in this B-side is really fantastic. The gameplay switch up along with a new funky music track, my personal favorite in the entire game. Instead of it gives like the A-side a more fun vibe. Like we're going fast-paced mechanics, the vibe is good, the music is good, and it gives it a really unique vibe, but it still ties into it with the visual aspects of the theming and the story that's going on at this point. Let's discuss. So we saw it pass by briefly here, but this red bubble section is genuinely one of my favorites in the whole game. Like it's bang, 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 so fast-paced. I love these fast-paced, like dashing, like little tests. I think it's one of the best examples of that kind of gameplay moment in the entire game. It just feels so satisfying, so rhythmic, fast-paced, so fun to get down, so fun to replay, all of that. Then we have this like stamina key room. I hate stamina puzzles. I don't think it's done that badly here. It's really fun to kind of sit here and think about a solution, especially because it's like so easy to retry because the spawn point is like right up top. I think it's a pretty nicely done room, pretty distinct from other stamina puzzles too, just because of the moving platforms, the moving like dash platforms. And again, just to mention like this other kind of red bubble dash room. It's pretty similar, but a bit harder with all the spikes around. I think it's pretty fun. It's, again, same reasons, pretty fun. Makes this level pretty distinct for me because I really love those types of puzzles. Then we have this room, which is like the final room of like a certain section before it like kind of changes the vibe up. And it is really hard for me for some reason. It's just so long, and it's almost like that final test of like, did you learn what you were supposed to learn before getting to this hard section? Especially this last dash right here, so evil, so evil. It's put at a nice enough spot where I'm like, it's a good like test of like the mechanics previously introduced, and then before we go into different mechanics with the monsters who are coming up. I am also really bad at this room too. This falling room, it kind of feels a bit, I hate falling rooms, if I'm honest. And this room in particular feels a bit like not intuitive to me. I was able to get it pretty quickly here, but don't love falling rooms. This key room I love. It's like, it kind of makes you make use of the monsters in a way you didn't really have to before, because there's no floor, so you have to like have him grab this one and also have him the jump on him so you get your dash back. It's a really fun puzzle, and the fact that it's so short too, it kind of makes it a little bit more good. And then we have, I don't really like this room that much if I'm honest. I think it's too long, it's too annoying. I don't want to carry Theo. It's one of the first times I felt like, oh my god, Theo, get out of here. Because you gotta keep on like, there's so many of these little sections. And especially because the ones at first are pretty easy, and then you get to this last one, with you have to like throw him, like threading the needle, throw him through this little area, jump on him, bang, throw up there, hit the switch, so you can head back over, but then you can't get hit by the monster. It's a little frustrating if I'm honest. And then we're moving on to one of my favorite rooms. I love this room a lot. I've seen people also not like this one, but it feels very rhythmic, like bang, I hold him there. And so it's kind of one of those show-off type of rooms where it's like kind of easy to do, but it looks show-offy because there's no floor, but it's, again, rhythmic, fun to get down, very satisfying to get down and master. We get to this final room, this final B-side room, where we have to throw him up there, but can't have him fall. This is probably one of the most, like, distinct B-side final rooms to me, just because, I don't know, I think it's, the inclusion of Theo makes this room a lot more distinct than the other final B-side rooms, so for that, I like it. It's a good end to a good chapter, to a good, B-side. As discussed, and pretty apparent, I really like this level. I like it more than even this Forsaken City B-side, or C-side, excuse me. I think what edges it out a little bit is the music. The music is so banger. The vibes are so good. So anyway, it's going into the Let's All Live category. Not quite goated status, but it's very good. It's very good. Sides A and B were both fantastic. Mirror Temple's C-side is exceptional. Spoilers, but it is my favorite level in the entirety of Celeste. Pretty easily. Well, we'll get to it, but pretty easily. For starters, it just keeps my favorite song in the game, which is the B-side song. So I'm already in like a good mood. I'm like already like, okay, I'm here for it. But alongside with the banger music, the gameplay is just, it's so good. It's real good. It's like masterfully thought out and constructed, and it just feels so satisfying to do. Beginning with this first room, which you see me struggling on right now, it's fun because there's two possible, like, you already saw it, but the first solution is, again, more wall bounces on the C-side. Who's surprised? And that solution's pretty fun, but you saw me struggling with trying to get the alternative solution, which if you're bad at wall bounces, I personally am good at them, so obviously I will do that method. There's a second method you can do, which is, let's see me do it here. And, you know, I'm pretty bad at the alternative method, but there is a way to do it without wall bounces, where you can, like, jump off the object and then grab the crystal, and then I don't think it's necessary, but I think it's a fun solution. If someone's bad at wall bounces, it's like multiple ways to do something. I think that's always a good sign of like a well-designed level. Next we have this awesome little momentum room, which is like, again, one of the more simple rooms in the whole game, but it's just good vibes. It's fun. That's all I gotta say about it. Easy little break between kind of a harder room, easy room, and then into the final room, which is so good. Let's get into it. I love this room so much. Probably my favorite room in the entire game. If I had to put it on one room, it'd be this room. It's so satisfying. Wall bounces, I love wall bounces. The red bubble is my favorite mechanic. Wall bounces out of red bubbles, like that's so fun. I don't, something about it is so satisfying. And but it's also like forgiving. Like you see me fail a few times there, but I'm able to try again because of this spring that was added in. It's like it kind of, whenever I die, it feels like really my fault rather than like the game being designed poorly, which I think is also like a good sign of like, oh, this level was hard but not too hard where it feels like it's stupidly hard. Like it feels satisfyingly hard. It's satisfying to complete. I also like the way that it ends with this kind of easier section with the dashes, because if it was harder I think I'd go insane a little bit because the first section is pretty hard. So again, a really awesome room. What a fun room. So sick. So sickly designed. So fun. Awesome. Good end to a good chapter. And a good level. Again, as implied, I love this level. This chapter is such a banger. It's banger after banger after banger. And guess what? The seaside. Guess where it's going? I already said it. It's my favorite level in the whole game. Get out of your old sight. Mirror Temple Seaside. It gets goated status. It gets goated status. Because you know what it is? Goated. It's goated. Love Mirror Temple Seaside. It's my number one. After the absolute banger that was the entirety of chapter 5, Reflection unfortunately falls a little short. That being said, this chapter is still a banger. The strongest point of this chapter has to be the theming. Madeline and Badeline are finally confronting and end up falling to the base of the mountain. It is only through finally reconciling after another long fight that they can gain the courage to climb back up the entire mountain in order to reach their goal of making it to the summit. This theming is reflected in the beautiful visuals of the vibrant colors and sharp edges. It feels raw and primal, like you're digging into yourself in order to come out the other side better. That being said, the gameplay does fall a little short to me. A lot of the mechanics introduced here aren't my favorite, and the fact that there are no strawberries in this chapter to keep it like a more story-driven chapter, I assume was their intention. It definitely hinders the overall complexity compared to other A-sides. That being said, the chase and like fight scene between Madeline and Badeline does help a lot with like fixing my grievances. It's very cool. We're gonna get into it. We're introduced to these feathers for the first time, which I'm gonna be honest is probably like one of my least favorite mechanics in the whole game. It's pretty cool, I guess. I'm just bad at like controlling the stick of the controller well. But it's present throughout this chapter, and it starts off easier and then gets harder progressively as we get on later. Next, we're in this huge open room, which is kind of reminiscent of like Mirror Temple. I'm thinking chapter 2's big room. Thinking some of the stuff in chapter 4. To be honest, this is one of the worst uses of like this open room for me. Just because it feels so bare, because there's no strawberries, so it's like no nooks and crannies to discover. It's just kind of an empty big room instead of being an explorable room with like collectibles to collect. There is 2 collectibles in here, which we got the B-side, which we saw earlier, the crystal heart, which I'm going to mention briefly because I hate this crystal heart so much. Getting to it's so out of the way you'll never find it. And then there's this dash puzzle. I don't know it. There's some puzzle here. I don't think anyone has probably ever gotten this without a guide or like a pen and paper. Running the crystal hearts are usually you need guides for it, in my opinion, unless you're like the goat, I guess. But this one specifically feels like unusually hard. It's some dash pattern you need to do. Obviously, I don't have it memorized, as you can see. I think it's kind of stupid. I said it. Then maybe in this section right before the fight with Badeline, which I mentioned earlier, where you get to like choose like pathways. So it's like you go into 2 choices. You get in this big open room. And you can go up or you can go down. And if you go up or if you go down, it's gonna give you a different like room. I think it's kind of cool. It's a cool idea because it kind of gives this level without any strawberries more complexity, more variety. However, I think the rooms in between them are kind of lacking. Like it feels like, okay, puzzle, and then I get like a break room where I'm just like maneuver through this, and then we're back to another puzzle room. So it kind of feels like it kind of interrupts the flow of the overall level, but it's a cool idea and concept for sure. We finally get to the fight with Badeline. I think this is really one of the most unique sections in the entire game because it's the only part of the game that feels like kind of like a boss fight. I mean, it's not really a boss fight per se, but the music too, it kind of gives this like super dramatic feel, like we're approaching the climax of the game, like the tension that's been happening throughout all these chapters of Madeline and Badeline beefing is finally getting resolved, and like this huge climactic fight. It's really satisfying payoff for the player. I do like the fact that she has both a laser and like those little orbs you saw earlier, because it kind of keeps the fight from feeling too samey. That being said, I do like the laser a lot more than the orbs. I think the orbs are kind of annoying. The laser feels more easy to like dodge The orbs sometimes hit me and I'm like, oh, I feel like that shouldn't have killed me there. But the laser feels pretty cool. But I do like that it like has that kind of like switch up to keep it fresh. We get this pretty cool falling room too, where we get to hit battle line, jump back, get some momentum. I think it's a pretty cool use of battle line. Midway through this kind of fight sequence, we get to a point where these falling blocks are introduced. I don't love them. I think it kind of interrupts the flow of the fight scene. It kind of like makes you have to wait for these blocks to move or stop moving. I don't know. It kind of slows me down a bit personally, so I don't really like it that much. And then we get to the final room of the fight scene, the fight sequence, if you will, with these like feathers. I don't know. Kind of cool. It does feel very climactic in a way, but it also is just kind of annoying. I don't like the feathers. That's probably why I'm assuming. It feels annoying to me. And then guess what? We absorb her. We absorb battle line. And now we are one. We are one. And we get this cool little double dash. It kind of starts to introduce the double dash at the very end of the level, which will be more fleshed out in the next chapter. But where do we rank it? Where do we rank it? Where do we rank it? To be honest, I think standalone, it's decent. Like it feels decent. But when I compare it to every single other level, I'm kind of like, it's alright. It's alright. Like, it's definitely less mid than the whole Golden Ridge fiasco. But I think it's better than Old Sight. Like, I think it just kind of feels, it's okay. Thematically, it's a banger, but gameplay-wise, some of my least favorite mechanics, so it's alright to me. Unfortunately, I do feel as though this B-side of Chapter 6 falls victim to the common problem with B-sides. They feel way too similar to the A-side. While the increased difficulty is definitely a fun addition, not a lot of other unique additions are made compared to other B-sides, especially since each section is divided similarly. Like the gameplay beats are very similar and the story beats. I would almost rather play just one of these levels than both. That typically does end up being the B-side just because the difficulty is a little bit more fun, but between the A-side and the B-side, they're just so samey vibes. Let's get into more depth into the analysis. We're introduced immediately to these feathers, as you might have seen. Probably my least favorite mechanic in the whole game, if I'm honest. I don't really like them. I'm bad at like stick control, especially in my controller. So I'm usually bad and die a lot in them, and I usually go off to the side somewhere. So a lot of feathers in the chapters are already kind of like... We do get into this really cool room, which makes use of feather in the kind of way I like, where you get to balance off and go quick and all that. Short feather uses, which is probably why I like it more. But is this puzzle room, honestly, I tend to dislike puzzle rooms more, like puzzle central rooms more. This one's quite fun though, just because the moving guys, it's a little bit more fast paced than a typical puzzle room. It immediately breaks up the fun of this puzzle room by going into these like falling sections. I didn't even do them, I'll be honest. There are like, I swear to God, 10 of these rooms back to back. Look at this, back to back to back to back, and the debug mode. Well, look at this. I was appalled in the moment. I was like, I don't remember there being this many. So many, and it just makes the level kind of feel very samey, and I hate doing those rooms, those falling rooms, so yeah, not gonna do them, just skip right by them. This B-side does have a lot of like good puzzle rooms, which is like a little surprising, I guess. This room in particular, it really stands out to me just because of the way you have to like manage so many things at once, like when to hit battle line, when to hit the key, when to get in the feather, when to get out of the feather, like, and you gotta avoid her at the same time. Like it's really complicated, but it's fun in a way because you have to manage all those things at the same time. And then we get into our second final room, which is like very similar to the A-side's final room, so it kind of perpetuates that like similar feeling between the two of them. This one's a little bit more fun though, just because it's a little bit more difficult. That being said, I don't really like it that much. I'm pretty bad at it just because I'm used to the feather a lot. I feel like I'm always going haywire and hitting something, which gets me pretty frustrated, but it is pretty good use as this B-side room. A lot of B-side rooms are like pretty forgettable. This one is also very forgettable. Nothing really note to say except for this last jump, which I do find people bang right through the wall. I think that's kind of a fun little touch. Chapter 6 B-side. Where are we gonna rate it? Where are we gonna rate it? I honestly said earlier that I would play this level more than the A-side, which is like probably true. Difficulty challenge, you know, trying to get better. But that being said, I don't really like it as much as the A-side because the A-side kind of has that story going for it. The B-side doesn't really deal with the story as much, so it has the same issues as the A-side in terms of gameplay kind of just like, I don't like the certain mechanics introduced, except I don't have any story to like cushion it back on, so it's like, it's similar, but I think it's worse, so I'm gonna put it right here in the, oh my god bruh, tier. Not a very fun level, in my opinion. Moving on to Chapter 6's Seaside, I also kind of feel that same boredom. For a seaside, it does end up being somewhat forgettable, like just a bit more memorable than Chapter 4's seaside, if you remember that one for me. But I don't know, I just feel like a lot of the puzzles could have been pushed a bit to make it more interesting. I also think the inclusion not to include Battle Line in this level, which she was included in the A-side and B-side, it's kind of a bad decision. I don't know, I feel like she made the A-side and B-side so distinct that her not being here kind of makes it not feel as much like Chapter 6. But that being said, I don't hate this chapter, like it's fine. The first room that you kind of saw playback just now, it's okay. Again, we have wall bounces in the seaside. Oh, what a new concept. It is nicely down here though, it feels satisfying enough. Pretty fun. Then we get onto this room, which I hate this room. Again, it deals with like stick control, the feather. I hate the feather. Falling again. And on top of all this feather shenanigans, guess what? This little dash window at the end is pretty unforgiving. It's kind of hard to get that little window, so it's like hard and then it ends with a hard jump. It's like, no thank you. I do think this final room in the seaside is easily its strongest and the most memorable. It's a fun little puzzle with this little moving guy where you gotta hit the sides and sometimes dash diagonally when you would typically just dash up into him. So it kind of switches up the flow a bit. Flash jump's really fun. A little bit of momentum. It does give you a little respawn right here, which is very unique for a seaside, because usually in the middle, I don't think any other seaside, no other seaside gives you a little respawn in the middle. So it's a little baby, but I did make use of it here. I am kind of embarrassingly bad at this little last section. So maybe thank you for it. But anyway, this last section, kind of fun. Get a little momentum section. Nothing too notable or interesting, but it's okay. It's fun. It's fun enough for me to keep me interested with it. So I know you're all wondering, where did I rank it? Where did I rank it? Actually, I ranked it above Reflections A-side, which I think it might be a little bit controversial. Again, it's alright. Like as I said, all of Reflections kind of just alright to me. I don't know, I do think it's better than its A-side, just because it's shorter. And because there's some interesting puzzles in there for sure. And it only makes use of the feather like a little bit, so I like that, but I also like the wall bounce room at the very beginning, so it's alright. It's alright. We finally reached the summit. One final climb from the bottom straight to the top of Celeste Mountain and the finish of the main game. One last test. One last trial. Our skills will be evaluated, and only when we overcome our shortcomings can we finally succeed. Overall, Chapter 7 is really fitting for an end to the main game. We briefly stop at different rooms inspired by each chapter and reminisce on just how far we have come. Despite revisiting old chapters' mechanics, chapter still does feel fresh and entertaining. That can mostly be attributed to the presence of the double dash that we unlocked last chapter. Old jumps that were impossible are now easily cleared, making the player feel as though they are flying through each screen. Alongside the gameplay, the visual and audio identity of this chapter are also quite strong. While we see references to the other chapters through the music and artwork, this chapter does really put its own spin onto everything. The music is triumphant, peeking through the background. We can see like this beautiful sky, showing we're almost at the end, like kind of this triumphant vibe. You know, despite these good aspects, I do have a few complaints with Chapter 7's A-side. First of all, the gem system, which we'll get to unlock the crystal heart is very frustrating and almost impossible to find all these gems without a guide. It also just feels the whole chapter feels a bit unnecessarily long compared to the lengths of other like levels. But let's begin with the analysis. I really like this room I think it just feels kind of satisfying. You go bang bang, and you have to hold the wall and go up, and then a little secret strawberry room. You gotta go up first, so it's like you gotta fight against your instincts in order to solve this puzzle. I think it's pretty cool. Fast little dash, in, out, back, in. And then there's another strawberry on the other side. I think it's cool when they have these rooms with like dual strawberries. So I think it's a really big standout room, especially in this first section. And then we have our final final room of the 0 meter section, and it's cool because we get used to this like kind of back and forth between battle line. And then look at this, our first gem. I think this gem is you could probably find this gem, but a lot of the other gems are unfindable, and there's like, you have to collect all 6 of them in order to get the crystal heart basically at the end. So if you don't miss a single one of them, if you miss one, it's like, oh my god, bro, it's so annoying. Anyway, this whole side, it's really fun to see all these mechanics from like so long ago, our first actual level. So it's like really reminiscent, really fun, really feels like we're getting to the end of the game. Especially this room right here, which was really reminiscent of the first chapter, with this little strawberry up here. But guess what? There's a little secret to the side. There's a secret room. And I was thinking about this level, it just feels really reminiscent of the first chapter. It kind of made me feel that nostalgic feeling, so I really appreciate it. Guess what? Guess what we're doing? Another gem! You either go this little hideaway down here, which like, how would you find that? It's so tucked away and like outside the way to get this stupid gem. It's really just, oh my god, bro, like, y'all, it's not lazy, because it's like obviously put there specifically, but it feels just stupid. And then we get to the final room of the 500-meter section. This room, it's decent per se. It's a decent final room. But what makes it good is this little strawberry off to the side here. You would never expect this here. And I usually hate that because I think having to do things for the guide is, or having the guide for things is kind of stupid. I don't know, it's really cool there though. It's a cool use of it there. I just think it's a nice little addition. It really subverts your expectations a lot. And then we make it to 1,000 meters. Green blocks are back. To be honest, I don't really like the dream blocks in this section because if you've done the chapter 2 B-side, you know you can just jump out of them. So it's like, if I jump out of them and now I have 2 dashes, it kind of just feels way too easy, in my opinion, for chapter 7. It gets better in the B-side for sure, but especially in the A-side, I feel like the 1,000 meter section definitely feels a bit lacking. I really like this room because there's a little secret strawberry here in the wall, and also this room is quite fun, very reminiscent of chapter 2. Just kind of bouncing everywhere, and the second dash does make it a little bit obsolete, like the kind of charm of chapter 2 where it's like you kind of have to serve your dash, but I still think it has some merit. It's still pretty fun. I'm gonna skip through it, but there's another gem room here. It's stupid. It's out of the way. It's a gem room. Who cares? Oh my god, there's like 6 of them gem rooms. Oh my god. And then we get to the final room with the 1,000 meter section, which it's really short, but I do enjoy it because like the fast dashes. And then again, we have something up to the side, which is like a cool subversion of expectations, I guess. But at a certain point, subverting your expectations so many times, I'm expecting something to be there now, you know. So it gets less cool as time goes on. Then we get to 1,500 meter section. Mr. Oshiro's. I really think this chapter is fun because you can see that in the background the sunset peeking out, which I think really makes this chapter just feel, again, distinct, which we discussed earlier. So you can see these dust bunnies are moving so fast, which makes this section particularly challenging for me. Just like tight timings. I usually find it hard to find the timing. Or this is the section where we find our B-side for this chapter. This is actually a pretty cool one. I think this is a cool little section where you gotta wait for this like little L-shaped guy. It can be pretty challenging, as you can see I died a few times. But yeah, it's a pretty hard B-side room for how B-side rooms usually go. B-side unlock room. And then hidden in this little room, which is kind of really reminiscent again of chapter 3. This little secret nook to one of my favorite strawberries in the entire game, if not my favorite, and definitely my favorite flying strawberry in the entire game. I think it's such a cool puzzle. You have to go up here and leave the dash at the last second, and then it comes up. It's like you actually have to dash in order to get it, which I think is so cool. And then we get to the final room of this section, which I also think is one of the more notable final rooms of each like meter section. Just because it's kind of fun how you're in the same section, but you gotta go back and forth, and it's challenging because you can't walk in the same spot twice. I really enjoyed that final room. Now we're at 2,000 meters. This section, again, like chapter 4, is a bit boring. But I do like this I think this section off to the side is really creative. Would I find this without a guide? Again, no. But it's creative enough where we can forgive it this time. We can forgive it this time for sure. As you can see, you gotta like make your way around the side, find some little nooks and crannies, do a somewhat difficult jump, and guess what it leads to? A gem. I love the gem mechanic. I don't. I do really love this room though. I honestly wish they just had this room in chapter 4. In the B-side probably, or maybe the A-side, probably the B-side. But I think it's a sick use of the up moving block, having to maneuver, and you can pick your side, because you can pick the harder side being the strawberry side, or the easier side being the not strawberry side. So you're like rewarded for trying this harder path, but also it's harder, so it's like maybe you don't want to do that. I really think that room is pretty sick. It's pretty cool level design there. And then we get to the final room of the 2,000 meter section. It's cool because it starts and stops wind, which I think it makes it very unique in that way, but also very frustrating. This last one, it doesn't start the wind again. It like breaks the pattern, so I always want to move there, but then it's kind of befuddling, if you will. It kind of confuses you a bit. And then we're at the 2,500 meter section. think that's a cool little breakaway secret. Again, reminiscent very much so of like Mirror Temple vibes. I mean, we're in the Mirror Temple section, so I would hope so, but you know. And then we can take this bubble to the right to unlock another secret room. And you wanna guess where this room leads to? I'm gonna take a wild guess where this room leads to. Oh my god, it's to a gem. I love gems. This room in particular feels so reminiscent of Mirror Temple. It's so like nostalgia beat. But like the way that you have like the multiple paths and one's the strawberry and then it goes up and then you can like the key on strawberry and the other. I like the choice, but it also is so reminiscent of Mirror Temple. I think they got that vibe down here for sure, while still keeping it like fresh for chapter 7. Now we're getting on the door skip. There's this little fun skip you can do called door skip, which I don't think saves any time, but you look cool when you do it. Bang, look at that. I didn't hit the switch, went underneath the door. Oh, and now we're at the final level. We're at the final level of this, the final room of this level. I think this is probably the best final like room of this chapter. It's just sick. I think this moving platforms puzzle section was really cool. There's so many strawberries in this final room. There's like 3. You get 1 there, and then it's like, I don't know how anyone would find that without like knowing beforehand, but whatever. And you have to bounce. Really cool. And guess what? Oh my god, there's a strawberry, but it's locked behind a door. Strawberry there. But oh my god, there's a switch, but it didn't unlock that one. It unlocked that one. It's such a cute little puzzle. It's so Mirror Temple vibes. It like really captured that vibe perfectly. I don't know. I think they did a great job with encapsulating Mirror Temple's energy while keeping it new and fresh. And we're introduced to the checkpoint system at 3,000 meters, which it's like a new mechanic that helps keep chapter 7 somewhat unique and fresh, but also helps it from feeling like, it makes you really feel like you're climbing a mountain, if that makes sense. Like it feels like, oh my god, I'm getting there, I'm almost at the summit. Like this is the climbing section. Like I'm not in some temple, I'm not in some abandoned city, I'm climbing a mountain, and that's what we're about to do because we're about to reach the summit. So, remember all those gems we collected? 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't have another hand. 6. That's how you get the crystal heart. You collect 6 gems. If you miss one, you can't go retrack and get it if you don't have like the debug menu. Like, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. You cannot get that without a guide. No first-time player is getting that. Like it's just not it. It's not it for me. I think it's just annoying. I didn't even notice while I was complaining. Downward wind. How fun. It's fun because it's new and fresh. Keeps the level fresh. At the same time, it's wind and it's pushing you downwards. It's slowing me down. I'm not having that much fun. And you can really kind of see that here when you're kind of trying to barely get there, and then you gotta dash up these crystals, which should be easy, but it's kind of dragging you down because it's downward wind, which makes not feel fun. But then we get upward wind, which is so fun. And I think having the downward wind section before the upward wind section kind of helps make it feel like even lighter. Does that make sense? Like I really feel like I'm so dragged down that when I become extra lighter, it's like I feel 10 times lighter with the upward wind. And then with the upward wind, a lot of these jumps that like should be impossible or like look impossible aren't. Like bang, and you can jump to get the strawberry and jump back. Like it just looks impossible, but it's possible because we now have the double dash plus the upward wind. So it's like things that are really feeling impossible before are now so possible. It's like, I feel like the sky's the limit. The sky's the dang limit. Checkpoint number 5, when no wind. So you kind of feel after the upward wind, you kind of feel a little bit dragged down because we don't have any wind anymore. You know, and that removal of the wind plus the checkpoints obviously getting lower, it's kind of signifying to like the player. It's like, oh, this is it. This is it. We're getting to the meat of it. We're getting to the end. And guess what? We are getting to the end because look at this. Checkpoint number 2. We do a little bit of climbing up this mountain. We're really climbing the mountain at this point. Before checkpoint 1, and I'll let this one play out fully. Look at this. It's so simple, but it's kind of calming because it's like we just went through all the struggle and all the strife. And guess what? We're just climbing. We're climbing because you know what we are at? You know what we're at? Pause. Summit. We actually did it. It feels so rewarding. It really does feel rewarding to get there. It feels like I just went, especially because how long this level is, having to go through all that and then getting to this thing and just being like, that like last little section being so easy. It's like, you get to kind of reminisce. You sit there and you're like, we did it, Joe, we did it. I do think this is kind of an interesting one to rank because it's so iconic. It's iconic in the sense that it's like, it's the summit. It's the summit, right? Right? This should be good, right? However, I feel like this is a controversial opinion. It's going there. It's going, oh my god, bruh. Just because of its length. Literally just because of the length. I think it's way too long. It's so tedious. It's like, oh my god. Halfway through the level, I'm like, oh my god, I'm done playing this game. I'm over it. Especially because it's the final, like, story level. I'm like, oh my god, I'm over it. Get me out of here. Oh my god, bruh. It's long. That, I think it could still be an it's alright. But that, look at the stupid gems. The gems are so stupid. Like, every other chapter, it's, you just get the crystal heart, you're done. Why do I gotta get 6 gems? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I don't. And they're so out of the way. They're so hard to find. So, that's why it's going to, oh my god, bruh. Chapter 7's B-side is very similar in its gameplay beats like many other B-sides end up being. But, near the end, it does kind of seem to develop its own, like, identity. We go through the same, like, gameplay loop of, like, climbing back up the previous chapters before reaching, like, the section with, like, the downwards wind, the upwards wind, the normal with all the checkpoints. But the good thing about this B-side is it is so much shorter. That was my main complaint with the inside, right? It's like long and it's complex and it kind of drags on a bit, I think longer than it needed to be. The B-side doesn't do any of that. But, as I mentioned before, once we get to that final checkpoint area, it really kind of excels. Like, it gets pretty lit. It gets pretty lit. But let's begin with this first section that you see me doing right now. You see these, like, fun little dashing puzzles. I don't know. It's like such a big difficulty spike that it really makes it feel like a new level. Like, it's not some small difficulty spike like some other B-sides are. It's a huge one, in my opinion. And then just the final room again. We go up here, dash, like these tight dashing windows. Oh my god. Tight dashing window. But eventually, get this little dash, hit her, and look at this. Oh, that's such a tight little window, which is kind of frustrating because it's right at the end. But we'll let it slide this time. Immediately, as we get to the section, I love this first round. You gotta kind of know when to wait, and then when to go momentum. And then also at the end, you gotta manage your stamina, have one last dash, because if you don't, you die. I think it's just a sick room. This room's really fun to play always. And obviously, this area is making use of a lot of those moving blocks that we saw in Chapter 1, but it's using them in a pretty cool and unique way, I feel still. Final room, we see a lot of, like, dash kind of preservation kind of things used, as well as this, like, tight little momentum jumps there. Oh, bang. Oh, this last part's like bang, 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 bang. Wait, I messed up. Bang, bang, bang. Hold. Bang, 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 bang. Because if you hold on too long, you know, the stamina. So I think it's such a sick puzzle. That's one of my favorite moments of this entire B-side, if I'm honest. Because it just feels so satisfying when you get it down. Remember when I complained about the A-side, how it was like, oh, it feels, dream blocks kind of feel, their difficulties kind of negated because if you have the knowledge of, like, being able to jump out of them, we're expected to know that now. So these feel so much more satisfying. It's like, bang, 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 bang. It makes the puzzles like 10 times more challenging and just feels like, it feels fitting. It feels fitting for this B-side because of how difficult it is. One little note I want to make is this little dash here, because we're expecting having to jump out of them because that's what we're used to, but it subverts your expectations because guess what you do? Downwards bang. That's so sick. It's such a sick moment. They did it earlier in Chapter 2's B-side, which I mentioned loving that moment, if you remember all that time ago. I think that this last room in this section is pretty sick too. Because, again, it's such a cool use of dream blocks where you have to know when to dash out of them. Because, like, safe spot there, guess what? That's all spikes there. So you gotta be so careful. You know, fast reactions and have, like, the knowledge beforehand too, or, like, the prep work. Honestly, since the A-side, Chapter 7 A-side section for the Shiro bit is pretty hard, this section feels very reminiscent of the A-side and kind of the most, like, similar, I feel, from Chapter 7's B-side to A-side. Oh my god, this room. I hate this room. I mean, I did this room so many times, I remember. I'm really bad at this room for some reason. It's such an annoying puzzle room. Oh my god, I hate these keys. It's just like, it reminds me of Chapter 3 in the worst ways possible. It's so the death bunnies are everywhere. The timings are not intuitive. They're not fun. Nothing about this room is fun. I struggle literally every single time I play this room. I don't think I've ever gotten in like one try. Like for some reason this room just messes me up every time. Then we're now on to the final room in the section, which again, quick timing. And if you don't get it on the first cycle, it usually can be pretty hard. But I ended up getting it here, so maybe I'm just goated. But again, I really like those fast dashes, quick timing. That little one at the end. It's shorter, so it's a little more forgiving. Now we're on to the 5th checkpoint, which again, heavy wind pushing against you. Wind pushing against you is so unfun because it just slows you down, and it's like, I don't know. I always want to go, especially on these clouds. You know, like I play on controller, still having to like push the stick like every 2 seconds to like adjust. It's very frustrating, very frustrating. And then we have the snowballs again, which I already don't like. And then in this section, it's required that you do like a bounce off of them in order to make this distance. Because guess what? There's wind pushing against you. It's so frustrating. Like, stop. Who's sending snowballs at me, bro? We get to the final room, which is again annoying. Because guess what? There's wind pushing against us. I literally feel insane when I'm doing this room. I'm like every 2 seconds, I'm like, please don't push against me, wind. But you can't push too much, or you're gonna hit spikes. So you gotta like that push and that pull. It's so frustrating. I hate the wind pushing against you. I hate it. And then we get to Mirror Temple again, my favorite chapter. Look at this momentum. So fun. I love that little momentum bit. Anything with like momentum like that. Just because of, I don't know, I like going fast. Continuing on with going fast. This red bubble room, which is so reminiscent of chapter 5's B-side, those first few rooms that I really like. Except it's a little bit harder, which I love too. Again, it was one of my highest rated levels, so obviously I'm gonna love this section a little bit. A lot of it, actually. And then we get to the final room in this section, which I think is really fun because, again, fast momentum into these, like, red bubble fast part. It's literally every single thing I love about Mirror Temple combined into one of these fast dashes. And after having that kind of stinker of the chapter 4 section before this, having this fast-paced section, it feels right. It feels fun. It feels satisfying. It feels so rhythmic. And you can really get into a groove pretty easily with this section. That's why I really like that section. And we're finally at the checkpoint, the actual meat of this level. And to start off, we have little stinkers, which is like stamina puzzles with downwards wind. Oh my god, stamina puzzles with downward wind. It's so frustrating. It's like, there's no way y'all are making me do like some of my 2 least favorite things. Annoying wind pushing against me, number 1, which slows me down, makes me frustrated. And then these stamina puzzles where it's like you have to conserve your stamina. It's just like all about going slow, which is what I hate in this game. Immediately off to an L start, but we gotta bring it back. This downward wind section with the springs is pretty sick. Just because, again, a subversion of expectation almost. You gotta kind of react, bang, 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 immediately dash. And then you gotta do it a second time up here. That tight dash window, bang, bang, bang. Tight dash window, bang, 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 bang. Really satisfying spring action. So it's a nice end to the downward wind section. But guess what's next? Upwards wind. We love you, upwards wind. Into, oh my god, one of the most iconic rooms for me, or checkpoints for me, because of how difficult this freaking section is. The clouds that like perfectly maneuver your bounces around these spikes, and I don't know why it's so hard. I don't know who came up with this evil put upon our world. As you can see me dying a bunch to it. It just is genuinely like, it's not really one of the hardest rooms, but just like personally this room is so hard. And it's evil because it ends off with this really tight dash. So all that hard stuff and then a really tight dash at the end, I'm like, oh my god, bro, get me out of here. I mentioned this briefly earlier, but there are these little cloud sections where you can do a little tap bounce off of them, and I find them to be pretty satisfying. And it's kind of cute little animation, so I find it nice. I don't know, I think it's a cute little section. And I've been mentioning a lot of times these things called wall bounces. This is actually where they're first introduced in a B-side, even though they were used in a bunch of C-sides, because you're supposed to play this before you play. Well, this is before you lock any of these C-sides, technically. So we first learned about these wall bounces, and it's really fun because it kind of teaches you, and then it gets into more complicated uses. So it's like, it teaches you how to do the thing, and then it makes you practice what you preach. It makes you practice. I really like doing wall bounces, so I really like doing this section. You see, you go, right, wall bounce. Right, wall bounce. So it started off easy, but then it gets a little harder, as you can see, which the development of difficulty is a really fun aspect. As stated, the wall bounces do get kind of hard at the end here. You gotta jump under that, not hit the spikes, be super careful. These little wall bounces off. I think there's a way to do that without wall bounces, but like, that's some baby stuff. You gotta do the wall bounces. And then again, like the A side, the last checkpoint is like, it's no really pressure or danger or anything that'll kill you. So it kind of gives you this moment to reflect on the journey we just went through together. Except, what? What? We're not ending. Oh my god, you gotta go under. Subversion of expectation. Subversion of expectation. You make it to the B-side room. This is actually a very iconic B-side room for me just because of how hard it is. You see, I failed a lot at this. It's cool, not a lot of B-side rooms. I don't think any B-side rooms really have like spikes on every single block. So it's like, usually in B-side rooms you're trying to stand on each one, but this one it's like, you have to ignore each colored block or you'll die. And you have to wait for these tight timings. It's frustrating. I'm really bad at this specific room. And I don't really like it either. But I think it's a cool use of a mechanic that really wasn't, I think, interestingly explored yet. So I think it's fun that they at least interestingly explored it in the final chapter. Or in the final, one of the final B-sides. And then stand on it. Get the heart. Yay! So how are we? I know you're all wondering where we're gonna rate it. I don't remember. Let me check my notes. So some A side and B side have similar likes for me in the sense that it's like revisiting all the other chapters, reminiscing, and then ending off with a pretty unique final section with some interesting uses of like the clouds and the wind and all of that. And except this chapter introduces wall bounces, which I love. I love wall bounces so much, as well as it's way shorter, which is my main complaint with the A side. So with that out of the way, it's gonna be a higher rank. It's not gonna be down here. Oh my god, bruh, no. It's gonna be in yay. It's gonna be at the end of yay though, just because it's a little long still. It's a little long still, and there are definitely some more annoying moments as we kind of discussed, but I still think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So we get to yay. I think it's better than alright. I think it's good. More good things than bad things overall, definitely. In comparison to Chapter 7's A side and B side, the C side, I'm gonna be honest, is miles ahead in its enjoyability and replayability. Of course, I'm inclined, as we've discussed many a time, to like C sides more, just because of the shorter runtime and their increased difficulty. However, this level in particular is really something special. It takes the wind mechanics of the past two levels and incorporates it into two beautiful rooms with challenging and platforming as well as challenging puzzles. The final screen is probably one of my most memorable screens in the entire game and one of my most favorite screens in the entire game, just due to the sheer amount of hours I've spent agonizing over it, if I'm honest with you. It truly takes all the aspects I liked about the two previous levels. It gets rid of the long time, which was my biggest grievance. It like expands upon it. It makes it really great. Let's go back to the first one. Briefly. Classic seaside moment. It's gonna do a wall bounce, right? But these wall bounces are, I don't know, they're so fun because there's upwards wind with the wall bounces. So we're flying. We're flying through this level. We're going from bang, bang to bang to bang, to the side, to the bang, to bang, 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 to the side, to the side. It's really fun. It's just so enjoyable. The main aspect of this level is that it's enjoyable. And then we get on to the second room, which I think is the weakest room, but not a bad room at all. Probably because it's downwards wind. But this little puzzle where you get to go around the block and then hit the thing in time and then down, up twice. Get on this and then bang. So downwards wind, so not that fun, but still a decent level. Now we got on to get onto one of the most memorable screens, as I mentioned earlier, in the entire game. Probably the most memorable screen in the entire game for me. It is so challenging. I'm gonna show you the challenging part, actually. What's challenging is you gotta weave. You gotta hit the spring like high enough that you get enough height, but then if you don't dash as well soon or late enough, then you're not gonna get enough height to like clear. It's all about clearing this jump up here. But then if you wait too late, you just hit the spike. So let me see. You hit this high, and ooh, look how close I was there. It's really hard. And then here it's really hard too. You gotta go up twice and weave. It's really difficult. I mean, as you can see, it took me forever. Let's just watch me play through it once, because I can do it. Let's take a peek. Do a little bounce. Side, up, weave. High enough. Over enough. Weave. Up. Weave. Again, we're weaving, we're dodging, we're weaving, we're bobbing. Going around. And guess what? There's a little wall bounce. I love wall bounces. Up to the side. You know what we're doing again? We're weaving. Hitting a spring. Side, side. Ends off this little fun dash section, which I love. It's pretty intuitive because, like, the way the spikes are arranged, but still hard enough. And then you know what we are? At the end. And this beautiful tree, and like right there. So satisfying. One of the best rooms to end one of the best levels. So, as I kind of implied, I really love this level. So you know where it's going. It's going goated. Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking at this really late, but this is... I'm sorry for all my old sight enjoyers, but I meant to put this here. Oh, awkward. I do really love old sight. That was kind of... I was looking at my, like, master list, and I was like, that looks weird. A little amendum. Anyway, as I implied, I love the summit. I think it's goated. We all know it's goated. It's up here. Come on. Not better than Mirror Temple. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. But it's still up there because she's that girl. The Summit Seaside is that girl. After the final close on the main story, we make it to our epilogue in the absolute bane of my existence. Core. Chapter 8. Let me start off by saying if you like this chapter, I genuinely think you're insane, but I respect your decision. I guess. Just personally, every time I get to this chapter in a playthrough, I like dread every single second. Every level, too. Like A side, B side, C side, they're all bad. Some are worse than others, but they're all bad. Story-wise, we're entering the core of the mountain to find what secrets are within. Somewhat weak kind of storyline on its own, but it could be cool with some like cool level theming. Except there's like no good visual theming at all. Like the whole time it's like a fire cave or it's an ice cave. It's like, okay, the cave, I guess. But like a magical mountain, and I'm like, where's the magic? There's fire and ice, I guess. I don't know. It's just very cave vibe. There's a lot of like annoying mechanics throughout this level as well that are frustrating to deal with. The first one sticks out as the lack of the dash refresh. So basically, like every time you're in the air and land after dashing, you refresh your dash. But in this chapter, you can only refresh it after hitting a crystal. So a lot of times I'll like fail a jump and have to go all the way back to the start to like just pick up a dash crystal again. It's so annoying. And I'm a person who likes the fast-paced mechanics and the fast-paced playstyle. So this whole chapter is just annoying for me. My patience, we're so thin with this level. Never want to play it. And the lava and ice mechanic where the lava rises and like the ice falls on you, it's so frustrating. This whole thing, even this A side, feels so long and drawn out. It's a horrible start, this A side. It's a horrible chapter. Let's get into it. First, we start off with this section, which I think is a little cool, a little creative, where we're going like right through the section that's fire, and then we get the reveal. There's a switch, and oh my god, now it's ice, which is like cool at first, but then it's like the whole 3 levels. It's like I'm kind of over it at this point. But anyway, we hit the switch, and it's like, oh, it's ice, and then the fun part is we get to like backtrack through what we just did, but now it's ice. Which I think is like one of the best uses of the fire icing. They get it right the first time they do this mechanic. And then I swear to god, like never again. And then we see these like conveyor belts, which are so annoying. It's just everything about this level is frustrating to me. Nothing feels fun. Everything feels grating. Everything feels frustrating. Nothing feels like it flows well. It always feels like I gotta have a billion brain power. And it just like feels like I'm going against my own instincts because I have like to like conserve dashes and not go fast and actually think instead of just like reacting, if that makes sense. A real stinker room is this one. I'm so bad at, again, conserving my dashes. We're bouncing on these ice and it's like you gotta hit this and get this and then like stay alive and then conserve 2 dashes, hit that switch, get up here, and then get this little secret strawberry room, which is like the most annoying strawberry in the game, because if you did that same thing but forgot to hit the switch and use your 2 dashes to get into that little area, you wouldn't be able to get this. It would be like blocked off on ice. So it feels like I'm literally like I'm going through all these trials and tribulations to get here, and y'all are not rewarding me. You're punishing me by making me redo it. But now having to hit the switch. So it's just like it's so frustrating because how are you supposed to know you're supposed to hit that switch and then go back? I don't know. And then that's if you even see the little opening that the strawberry is. Here we start to see like the rising lava more, where it's like this part is okay because it's like bounce. But you don't even have a minute to think. You gotta like react because it's encroaching on you. It's encroaching on you. It's gonna kill you in 2 seconds if you don't dash right now. But if you dash too soon, if you don't dash at the right time, you lose your dash and then you have to reset. You have to die. So it's like I'm stressed between 10 things at once. This strawberry particularly is frustrating because I'm like stressed out. You gotta get that and you gotta hop all the way around, go all the way around. The ice I think is a little bit more manageable, but the fire, the lava is just, it's all annoying. Get straight, don't get twisted. But the lavas especially. And then, as mentioned earlier, the rising lava, falling ice rooms. It's like, if you don't hit the switch for 2 seconds, if you don't hit the switch in time, you're gonna die. But if you hit the switch too soon, later on in the level, you're gonna like, get hit by something else because you didn't wait long enough. But how are you supposed to know that? Like 10 steps earlier in the level. It's like, I don't know. So you have to have like insane planning skills. Also like good platform. It's just like you're doing too much. And the levels just look ugly. It just looks ugly and the music isn't good. Like I'm just not having a good time. The vibes are rancid. And guess what's back? The feather's back. And this time we're dodging between ice and lava. It's like my least favorite mechanic in like almost the whole game. Combined with my other least favorite mechanic in the whole game. I'm just frustrated. I'm so frustrated. And then we get to this room, which is like timing with the blocks on top of timing with the lava to make sure you don't get hit by lava. But also you can't dash. You're not allowed to dash. So it's like I'm not allowed to have fun. Thanks. It's so frustrating. Anyway, get the tape. I'm gonna make a note, controversial note. I think that this like little one screen end section is way cooler looking, way cooler of a concept. Like you go through the floor and it brings you to the top. Like, it's so much cooler of a concept and a mechanic than the like ice lava no dash thing was. I think this could have been obviously implemented differently. Could have been the mechanic for this level or like the visual theme. It would need a little bit more because it's a little barren, but I think this is so much more like fitting for the inside of a magical mountain than like a regular cave. I don't know, that's kind of controversial, but I wonder what ranking I'm gonna give it. I wonder what ranking. It's going here. I'm gonna be honest. Do not even joke, lad. It's going here. It's less egregious than this because at least this had some good moments. Not really any good moments. Maybe one good moment. I'm just frustrated the whole time. So guess what's coming up? Guess what's coming next? It's the B-side. You know, after that first level, it can't get any worse, right? It can't get any worse. Spoilers, it gets worse. It's literally like just the A side, but like a little bit harder. A lot bit harder, kind of. So it's like the same length, same stupid mechanics, nothing really interesting, uninspired, and I gotta play it again. And I'm gonna play it again because I'm the fool playing this stupid chapter. I don't have a lot to say, I'm gonna be honest, because I'm just gonna complain. I'm sorry, but for real, it's just as annoying and frustrating as the A-side, but just harder, I guess. You see, I mean, literally, this first screen which we just passed by, I mean, it's literally just fireballs falling on me. Like, look at this awesome level design. Thinking back to that, like, beautiful level design from earlier. The clouds, the mirror temples, like, haunting imagery with the reds and the blacks. Chapter 4, even though it was kind of storily kind of horrible, the like beautiful clouds and the sunset, straight into like fire cave. I love me a fire cave. Oh my god, look, there's fire everywhere because we're in a fire cave. This room in particular, this is quintessential puzzle room where it's like one screen, you can look at all of it. It's probably one of like the worst puzzle rooms, I think. Like puzzle focused room. I'm gonna say it's the worst puzzle focused room in this game. I said it because you have to wait like look at this. Every time you have to reset, and there will be a lot of resets like this. Wait. That little wait time, it makes me so I want to keep going. I want to keep trying and attempting, but I have to wait, or else the cycle won't be good. The cycle of the fireballs won't be timed correctly. So it's like I'm waiting to try again, and I'm just gonna fail. And I'm gonna have to wait again, over and over. It's like a cycle. It's like Sisyphus. Replaying this level is like Sisyphus. I'm pushing the boulder. This room is cool. As you can see, like combines all the mechanics from other rooms. I think that's interesting. Again, is it like helping the fact that core does not really have a good visual identity, IMO? No, it's not. However, it's a cool concept. Do I think it's executed well? No, because it's literally just like one thing after that, next, after the next, after the next, after the next, and you don't get a dash. You don't get it. Your dashes you have to refresh your dashes. So it's like it's not it. It feels really uninspired to me. And guess what's happening? The lava is rising. The ice is falling. I was going crazy playing this last night. We'll watch this last room. Look at this. I do think this room's pretty sick. It's one of the better rooms in core, just because we're doing these like tight little momentum things. You have to know when to dash, and that last jump is pretty hard. To be honest, I do find it one of the better levels in the B-side. Is it good? I wouldn't say I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. I really would not. Again, look at this. Look at this cool vibe. This is the best level or best room in the entirety of core. A-side, B-side, C-side. Look at this. You go down, you up through there. That's such a cool mechanic. That's such a cool mechanic, and they only do it on the finals like 2 screens. It's like, I feel like I'm going insane. I'm like, wouldn't this be so much cooler than a fire ice cave? Look at this. We're in like space, like a magical mountain. Inside the magical mountain, we're in space. Like that's so much cooler than what we actually got. Here, let's watch me beat it. I'd take a while to beat this because I was probably like 6 a.m. when I recorded this. Look at this. You go up through here, and you come out the bottom there. That's so cool. And then you wait for this timing. It's probably one of the better end of B-side rooms. And it's in this stupid B-side level. I wonder where I'm gonna rate it. It's going to, I mean, of course it's going to Don't Even Joke Glad. Why am I putting it after? It's just because it's harder, I'm gonna be honest. It's harder, it's a little more annoying. It takes me longer to beat because it's harder, so I have to spend more time playing it. That's why it's last. That's really the only reason. It's horrible. If you think I was being harsh before on the A and B sides, it's about to get a lot worse. Chapter 8 C-side is hypothetically better level than the A and B sides. Better level design, technically. Interesting new movement technique called a hyper dash. So I don't know why. It's probably because I'm really bad at hyper dashes, by the way. But this level is just the worst in the whole game, entirety game. Whole game of Celeste. For me. I'm sorry. Just hate it. Genuinely hate it. When getting finished with the video, ended up beating the final room in one try. I literally was like in tears of joy. I was so relieved. I haven't been that relieved in so long. It's just hands down my most dreaded level in a playthrough. Every time I open it up, it's like I'm punishing myself. It's like, oh my god. It's one of those levels where every single death I have is like, oh my god, it's this game's fault. This game is flawed. Instead of like, oh, it's my fault. I'd rather be my fault because I'd rather have something to improve on. Let's tear her down. So as you just saw me playing the hyper dashes, I'm really bad at them. Hyper dashes, and you'll see it later. But then there's this room, which is honestly my favorite in this level. It doesn't mean a lot because this room is not very good. Oh, that's not great. But it's decent. I mean, it's got some interesting platforming. With the magma blocks. Not very interesting. It's a little interesting. As you can see, you kind of like bounce, do some tight dashes, some cool little momentum bits. Oh, and you fell. And you fell, and you fall, and you fall. You know what you do? You get back up. You get back up. That switch. This room is just the bane of my existence. As you can see, it kind of carries that theme from the B-side of it's like incorporating like elements of each level. So we have the dream blocks there, these guys, clouds from like chapter 4. Just makes everything feel so uninspired. Like this level really has no identity. It's stressful because sometimes if you like don't wait like 5 minutes earlier in the level, later it's gonna be like, hey, you're supposed to wait that because now the level's gonna catch up. You see right here. You kind of gotta stall a bit there because if you don't stall enough, you hit right there, and it's like a minute into the screen, and you die right there. I die there all the time. It's so frustrating, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I just had to wait. And then the hyper dash incident ends with this little hyper dash. So mad. And I'll get there like usually 10 times, and then just fail that jump 10 times and have to replay for like an hour straight till I beat this room. So frustrating. I hate this room. I hate this room. I hate this room. I hate this level. Oh, cute. So I know you're all wondering, where am I gonna put it? Where am I gonna put it on the ranking? Kill me now. 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 For real, I mean, I said it before. My least favorite level in the whole game feels, number 1, uninspired. Number 2, I'm personally bad at it. Number 3, that last screen is so long. It's not like necessarily so hard, kind of is, but it's just so long. And by the time I get to the end, having to do that hyperdash back to back that I'm personally bad at, just kill me now. I would rather do anything than, I wouldn't rather do it. This is still a good game. It's still a good game. But for real, like, I would rather do a lot of other things than play through this final level. It just is, I really do dread it every time it comes in play through, like, no exaggeration. I hate it. Which is why it's going into the kill me now tier. We have 1 level left. Where will it go? I wonder where. After the complete disaster. I'm talking complete disaster. That was Chapter 8 Core. We move on to, in my opinion, a masterpiece. Chapter 9 is a DLC chapter that was added a year after the release of the main game, meaning the developers had time to really polish this chapter, and also to understand what the community liked about Celeste's level design. This is very apparent throughout the entire level, in my opinion. Despite its monstrous length, every single screen feels detailed and planned out. Nothing really feels like filler, and it all kind of contributes to the overall level experience. To briefly touch upon the story, Granny, remember her from the beginning, she guided us through our struggles on the mountain, and now she has passed away. And Madeline is going through the stage of grief, denial. She follows the bird that seemed to always stick around Granny up into outer space to chase after to try to deny herself that Granny is still alive. Of course, this is a dream. She can't actually go into outer space, but, you know, the whole level takes place in outer space, so. This unique space theme allows for some really, really, really gorgeous visuals you can start seeing on the screen now. It's like starfish, jellyfish. It's really beautiful. This, along with a wide array of music tracks introduced throughout each different section, allows for this long chapter to still captivate the player throughout. And I cannot discuss Farewell without mentioning its difficulty. It's easily the hardest chapter, with a wide variety of new mechanics that all have several different uses and interactions with one another. Fast-paced platforming, and just like really inspired puzzles. Like, they're really puzzles that I'm like, how did I even come up with this? It's so cool. Well, it's my absolute favorite level. That goes to Mirror Temple Seaside. We love you, girl. I really do love this level. I think it's a masterpiece. It really added to Celeste too. I'm so happy they added this as DLC. So let's begin with the first section called Singular. The Dash Crystal be introduced. So now, instead of having double dash all the time, we have our Dash Crystal, which will like give us a double dash sometimes. I think that's so creative. What a cool way to bring that back while it's still kind of tying into the story that Madeline and Madeline are kind of fighting a little bit at the moment. You also are going to immediately feel the difficulty spike in all these rooms. In rooms like this buddy here. What a cool room. Look at this. You have like maneuver yourself around. Fast fall. Oh, see, I did it wrong there. Falling Spring is like mix of like the platforming difficulty alongside some really cool puzzle solving stuff. We're introduced to these little orange fish guys with some pretty cool interactions where when you hit them from the side, it blows up in your face. But when you hit them from the top, you can bounce off. You also can grab keys. So it's like such like a cool like mix of these mechanics from previous levels and new levels, and it just really shows how well thought out this level is, in my opinion. This is one of the best puzzle rooms in the game for me. Bounce off this guy, go over here, and then you have to hit the other side of him and bounce off, and then guess what? Respawns, and you hit him again. You're using the same guy 3 times. Use him after he respawns. It's so creative. This is a true puzzle room, and the fact that you literally sit there and be like, what do I do? What do I do? Forever, but once you get it, it's like, oh my god, that's sick, that's sick, that's sick. Introduced to this little jellyfish guy. I love the jellyfish guy. He acts as a little like glider basically. It'll carry you across the screen, and he has so many different uses. You'll see it here. In this big room, we get to like learn all these different use cases for the jellyfish. For example, if you dash up into him, it gets a little boost, and then you can like hit him off walls. So you can see if you dash up into him, you get this little boost. You can chain them together to get some extra airtime. This looks sick, 'cause pretty sure you could hit the switches with them. And then you also get the little boost again if you hit them in air. So it's like there's so many use cases for this singular new mechanic introduced. It makes everything feel so fresh. And it like teaches you all these like uses for the mechanic. And later on the level it like makes you combine them all. And it doesn't tell you when to use them, but it's like you kind of know them all. It's like you telling. That's saying. That's a masterclass in this level. The best, I think, visual identity of any chapter. Look at this. It's like stars cascading across my screen. And the music during this part is really gas too. It's so good. Look at this. Beautiful. Just gorgeous work. So we're using our jellyfish, we're going along. The backgrounds are super beautiful. It feels like we're at a climactic point maybe in the level, and it's been going on for a while now, so you're kind of like, okay, I'm getting to the end. Like, okay, that makes sense. There's the heart. It's like, okay, that's the end. But it's fake. But it's a fake out. We're barely halfway through, baby. Look at this. Vibes start to switch. Half the level left. It also gives you like a PowerPoint halfway through the level to teach you how to do what's called a wave dash. New technique. I think it's so funny that they did this. I don't know how else they would have taught it. So it's a little out of place, definitely, but funny enough, we'll let it slide. So anyway, we learned a new thing called wave dashing, which I've kind of been doing this whole time. But basically, it's a way to get an extra dash in air. You'll see, bang. Get a lot of momentum, get a lot of traveling. So basically, it teaches you how to do it, gives you some time to practice how to do it, and then throws you into immediately using it. It's really sick. Again, that like, teach you how to do it, but don't tell you how to do it. Show, don't tell. This is a really sick puzzle room in my opinion. You have to like maneuver on the side, go around, get this dash crystal, go on the very end because you can't walk on this because you need to leave a little space there. So you have to step in this thing 4 times. And look at that, bang, because you gotta get your dash back for the end. Pretty sick platforming. And I just wanted to highlight this little bubble room. You gotta do wave dashes out of bubbles. It's just kind of showing the use case for it. But like the fact that they made you do this right, you never do wave dashes to the left, so it's super hard. It's a little evil of them. A little evil. And we have this really sick room, which is also the bane of my existence. I really suck at this because, again, I hate the feather. I really suck at like controlling the stick. You see this? You get a wave dash there. This fast falling part, I really suck at. You have to like hold down and also maneuver. This part is so sick. It's like making use of these elements of earlier in completely new ways we've never seen before. Where these dash blocks, which we usually dash off of, are now hindering us. They're now these huge platforms coming in. It's really just a cool way to reintroduce old mechanics in a new format. Continuing on with that theme of introducing old mechanics in a new format, we've never seen Red Bubbles interact with this upwards wind, and we're seeing it here for the first time. And they make it lift. They make them lift extra a little bit. It's so fascinating. Just seeing the creativity in this level. It's really like, I can't believe you guys did this. This is so cool. But there is another vibe shift. Like a third vibe shift. We're now in this like desolate, cold kind of vibe, space vibe. So it kind of shows like just how creative this level is. But also creative wise. We see these blocks that were only used in like B-sides that only had the blue and the pink before, now have 4 different colors and used like actually consistently throughout the level. It's like, again, making use of these old mechanics that we thought we knew before in completely new ways. It's so gaggy. It's so awesome. Favorite of mine is here. We have to wave dash over, wait for the timing, and then you gotta wait for this one to go off. And then go through that one into the bird. It's really sick. Into this next vibe switch. Now we're going to like this electricity section where everything, this section in particular, it just has great like rhythm and flow because we like go into the bird, into battle line, into the bird, into battle line, into the bird, back into the bird. The rhythm, the movement of it all, it's really, it feels like very creative in the way that they were able to like chain these things together and like keep each section of this level fresh, but also just like fun. Like it's fun. I'm just gonna let this play. This is like easily the hardest room in the entire game. Easily. It is so long. It's easily the longest room in the whole game. It's like 2 2 minutes long. The beginning is so hard. We're just like maneuvering, using every single mechanic we've learned before, combining them all together. Now with the bird, like, it's, and then there's like a wind introduced, and we are back on a jellyfish. It's so insane. It literally, I think one time I spent like 3 hours on this room alone. Like, but it's kind of a masterpiece. It's a masterclass in like creating a super difficult room, but not one the player feels like unfair about. Every time I die, I'm like, oh, I need to get better at that. Not this level design sucks. This level design sucks. So it's like, it's really, am I frustrated sometimes playing this level? All the time. However, I don't feel, it feels so fun to get good at it. Like, it feels fun to improve with it. And I do feel like I'm improving with it. Rather than something like Core Seaside, where I feel like I'm just like getting worse at it every time I play. And, you know, we finally reached the end. Destroy the final power box. It's really cinematic. It's like this little movement bit. Then a feather, L feather. And it's like, say goodbye to her for me, and then it goes like, and this beautiful, so cinematic, so beautiful. This level, it's just goated. It's goated with the sauce. Spoilers, but it is in fact goated and even better than the Summit Seaside for me. It really is. It's a really fantastic. It's just, she's that girl. Is it better than Mirror Temple? Spoilers, no. Is it better than Mirror Temple? Definitely not. But I think it's because, objectively, is it better? Definitely. It's a masterclass. It's a masterpiece. Everything works together beautifully. The music, the story, the visuals, the gameplay, the mechanics. It feels so thought out. Everything feels where it's supposed to be, perfect even. But something about Mirror Temple. Mirror Temple is just that. Mirror Temple is her. So is the Summit. They're all of them. I've been recording for so long. The sun is now outside. I guess I just had a lot to say. But we've been on this journey together. We've gone through every single Celeste level, all 25, all 25, all 25. And you know what? This video was not the good and bad of Celeste, and I did say a lot of things were bad. Chapter. However, this game is so good, y'all. This game is so good. This game is good. Everything that's bad, I mean, it's not really bad. It's just frustrating, okay? It's all made up for. It's all made up for because of the experience of Celeste is so beautiful, so life-changing. I love this game so much. And did I just spend like 5 hours sitting here recording me ranking every single level? Yes. But compared, if we look at all these levels, right? We're looking at all these levels. This is how I rank them. However, if you think about it, maybe they should all be encoded. Think about that. You know what? Maybe they should all just be up there. Because you know what? This game is awesome. This game is beautiful. This game is incredible. This game is exceptional. But for real, this game is sick. This game is just a masterclass in level design, in music, in storytelling, in everything, in representation. So yeah, that's right. Maybe this is the final ranking. Maybe this was the final ranking all along, I'm thinking. To conclude. Celeste is a masterpiece. Mirror Temple is goated. Core is not. Core is definitely the worst. Core Seaside is the worst level in this whole game. I said it. It's still bad, okay? You can take the hatred out of me, but you can't take the core hatred out of me, okay? Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I hope this is of a little interest to you. I have honestly not even that strong opinions. Do I? I think every level is good though. Every level is good. I kind of exaggerated a little bit. Every level is definitely good, except for Corsi side. That being said, thank you for watching. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go take all this makeup off that I've been sitting in for like 3 hours, 4 hours. It's been like 5 hours. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good rest of your day.